So hello everybody, and welcome back to some WARNO League action as we have another lovely day with another two amazing quarterfinals coming in here. And as Mr. Chloride unfortunately went down with a bit of an illness here, I got a great replacement though, as Jeremy here is joining me today as a co-caster.
Hello, everyone. Chloride should have lifted more weights. I think that's the issue. On stream, he needs to do some more bicep curls, and he would be in a more healthy state.
Yeah, yeah, that's most likely the biggest issue. Workout routine not quite up there anymore for his stream health. Maybe he needs to sing a bit more as well to get his voice back in shape. But yeah, we have a really lovely game in front of us between two healthy individuals as Static and Bottom Feeder here coming in with their first game here. And this is the quarterfinals of Division 1, so high stakes action here. The winner will have to face Scuff in a best of 5 in the semifinals, as we are down here. And we will go to the WoW and Dark Neutron game later, where the winner will have to face Stahlbrecher. So this is going to be an interesting one. And yeah, we have a matchup that is pretty old school as well, as we have 5th Panzer and 79th. And what can you tell me about the 79th and the way they approach this matchup here?
So, in my opinion, from 79's side, you got to go for Bravo here. It looks like that is what Bottom Feeder is looking for here. Little deployment in middle and a little deployment on the right, or excuse me, in the north as well, to Gulf. I think that the problem with 79th here is those BMP2s are going to have a lot of problems against these Leopards. These Leopards should be pretty quick and be able to catch up here and eliminate any BMP2 stack that Bottom Feeder might be able to build here. And also, Bottom Feeder, haven't seen him play a whole lot of 79th in the past, mostly on 4E. So we shall see.
Yeah, and on the other side, Static with a classic Lux plus double Alouette opener. The Skithic classic here being brought in with Fanspayers, Aufklärers, and a decent amount of Leos and Martyrs behind all of that. So yeah, Bravo being the most heavily fought 4 points usually, and it will be the case this time around as well. And the TAD BVICD on its own versus a Leo 2A4, that's not the sexiest matchup for the TAD BV.
And I'm seeing a rocket plane opener here coming in from Stardeck. Haven't seen this one from 5 Pans in a long time.
Yeah, but it's just barely enough to gun down a 4-hit 1 helicopter, so that's okay. I mean, it nearly goes down there. I'm not quite sure how... Okay, only one coup missile hit. I thought those were OSAS. I was like, how do OSAS deal 9 damage? But it's a double coup opener instead. And yeah, they nearly kill the F4, so not quite sure how worthwhile that was, but it at least gets the recon helicopter down and leaves Bottom Feeder with a bit less knowledge about what is coming his way. Though the Retrovetka should be able to spot most of these things now, and he will know that his TADBV is a bit outnumbered and outclassed at the same time. So I'm not sure if moving forward to TADBV is the best idea here right now.
No, not at all. From the angle it looks like the Bottom Feeder is going for, is going to look for some side shots here on the units driving in right now. The Leopard 2A4C just to the north of that point is going to cause issues because it's going to be able to peek over. I imagine what Stardeck is going to do is he's going to just peek it right over that little cliff there. He's going to start taking some sniper shots basically with that 2A4.
The Saperi RPO is also moving a bit too far forward. They don't have any AT weapons, so the Martyrs can just shoot away freely. Ooh, the Conquerors and the TADBV actually getting some hits here against the Leo, so Leo not able to spot the TADBV without any recon units around, actually eating a shot there. And that's a good win there for Bottom Feeder, but the forest fight is not going his way. The Saperi RPO were caught out on their own. Motostrike is only getting involved now, and they can't even one-shot those Martyrs, as their RPG is not the best. And that is a big issue here.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of problems here. It looks like Bottom Feeder, with the cluster coming in, going to kill a 1A1.
But losing it to the Roland.
Yeah, losing it to a roll. Not looking so hot here for Bottom Feeder. This Bravo push looks like it's going to be snuffed out pretty quickly here. However, Bottom Feeder is getting the cap in middle, or at least contesting it. He does have 2 command vehicles, one in the back right now, not doing anything. And Stardeck, not. He should be able to clear this out pretty easily. This Panzer Grens are going to do a lot of work here. 2A4C now getting back into the fight, taking out a Conquerors. This T80BV IZD is in a precarious position, though, right now that I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, I would like it to see it slowly disengaging here while it's taking a couple more shots against the infantry. That's fine. Pushing it back the Panzer Grenadiers, but yeah, bottom feeder basically has to give up on Bravo right now, which is never feeling great. Has taken over control over the north as there was not much contesting there by Startek in the earlier stages, and the BMP2 is doing a good job there, pushing really deep. I like that idea, but the center fight here currently heavily outnumbered, only one T80, one Conquerors, and that's about it. Two BMP2s coming around, still trying to go for Bravo. I'm not sure if that's currently the right attempt to go, or if you maybe should more play it through the north right now, but it seems like oh no, the BO
Oh
gets the
no.
CV as well. Yeah, it seems like the focus is still here on trying to get the W there. Me 8 might at least try to get the Iltis Führungsback. That could work out, as no AA is around right there right now. The Aufklärer could get found by the Spetsnaz GRU as well. Yes, they are going pretty low. Me 8 here can push further, but the tank fights won't go well with two Leo 2A4s. This third one already on the map now as well. A Jaguar there too. Like, the 79th is just outclassed in the armor fight here.
Yeah, there is not any world where this poor T80BV IZD is not going to get pinballed around by these leopards if they get envisioned right now. The northern side of the map, though, looking, Bottom Feeder does have it. He's starting to cap around. He's clearly rerouting some stuff, covering Foxtrot and Golf right now. The decision to go for Bravo here is a little curious right now for me. I don't know why. I mean, it looks like Bottom Feeder is just kind of setting up a defensive line here. We can see another command coming into middle for Bottom Feeder as well. Not really sure what the game plan is here. If I'm Bottom Feeder here, I just want to build. BMP in the north does kill Martyr Milan with the Panzergren in the truck. So, but it does look like quite a bit more units coming up to the north in the delta. This BMP is going to be spotted here shortly.
Yeah, they actually go towards Charlie though, so the north is still being abandoned by Startek. Startek still wants to win the big duels in the south. And
yes, he rerouted them.
And yeah, the TADBV and the Spetsnaz GRU in the middle are still moving around. The Mi-8 maybe a bit slow with its movement as the Roland 3 is approaching, but it might still just get the kill here on the Aufklärer and potentially the Iltis leader. No, doesn't quite get that. But no recon unit here right now for Startek in the middle. So that part at least is quite nice. The Spetsnaz GRU might get into the good buildings there and be able to spot for the rest of the units later on. But yeah, with Bravo still around, you would want to play it a bit more from the north, around Foxtrot, coming down from there into Charlie, and not just going down through the lower plateau where Jaguars, BO-105s, and everything is basically waiting for you. F4F rocket is going down here most likely.
No! Yeah, I think it's got... No way.
Why? That's unfortunate.
Started great micro, gonna go ahead and split the leopards up. Su-24M cluster gonna come in. Started gonna dodge that, easy mode. And we're looking at bottom feeder up in the north again, just, shooting some Conquerors in at these Martyrs as they drive in. And we can see a Lux and an Alouette coming over there, or no, just a Lux over there for now. But not a huge fan of what I'm seeing here. Well, I guess it's pretty even right now. I shouldn't say I'm a huge fan of either side right now.
Yeah, it's actually a +1 for bottom feeder as they got the capture now on the middle point, as they killed off the CV in the middle just before the Mi-8 went down. But they need to find a solution for the Leos, and they tried to do it with air, but both cluster planes went down without getting any massive kills. Only a Leo 1A1 went down to it, so the Leopard 2A4s, they don't need to worry about that part anymore. And you can't really kill them with tanks. You don't have anything with Conquerors M's or so. So dealing with the Leos is kind of down to normal Conquerors ATGMs and maybe some Mi-24 play. And that is not the easiest way of getting kills against these guys.
Bottom feeder walking some Motor Strokies out in the open here. Okay. Does
Gets
take down 2 Marmolons. Stardeck trying to get a little aggressive, trying to get a probably a side shot from that angle on that T80BV. Not sure. You can see that bottom feeder's got those 2 BMPs just sitting in the back right now in the north. I wonder what his plan is here. He actually hasn't really moved up a ton of his infantry, kind of to get into some positions to ambush any tanks or any armor that comes in or any vehicles. So I'm curious if that's what his plan is here, is to eventually say, the hell with Bravo, I'm going to Delta, stop me there.
Yeah, Igla getting a kill against the BO-105. The Leo 2A4 actually took the worst engagement against the T80BV, as with 2-star veterancy, the T80BV got the first shot out and stunned the Leo with it, and then got a follow-up shot before the Leo could get any shot out, so a bit of damage there that will need to be repaired later on, but the BMP2s on their own won't be able to push it into a Leo 2A4, so that won't work out, and the F4F actually coming around again. Coops will get another salvo out, but would need to hit both, and it's instead 4 misses again.
These Coobs are drunk.
Yeah.
My god, they don't hit anything.
And the BMP2s here just driving into a Leo 2A4, that's not the way of dealing with this. Smoking off at least with the second one after the first one falls, getting out of there. Finally another T80BV IZD. Maybe with the Argona ATGMs and some good range play, you can deal some good damage to the Leo 2A4s before the gun engagement. And then in that position you are in a bit of a better spot, but it's hard to get those fights against somebody who micros their Leo 2A4 as well, and Starlight obviously known for doing that, so it will be really tough to find the kill here. But the northern play might be the best idea here. BMP2s outclass the Martyrs. The Martyrs don't one-shot them with ATGMs, whilst the Conquerors one-shots the Martyrs, so that could be the solution. But the Mars already coming in with cluster against the T80BVs, so Starlight going to the next level here. And the T80BV IZD might go down there. Yeah, the gun takes it out. This is bad.
Yeah, it just got pinballed around. This could be the breaking point here now. You know, there is another IZD on the field, but not a huge fan of what I'm seeing here for bottom feeder. It's not gonna... Okay, so the Mars is an interesting buy. I can't remember the last time I've seen one of these in rank.
Starlight loves them.
1v1.
Starlight loves them. He has always brought them around, even in the past. Like, he loves this one. He loves the Soviet variant in... I forgot the name. In KDA, the cluster rocket artillery.
The Smirch, yeah.
The Smirch, yeah. That's Starlights unit. He always defended those to a nail when people said they were useless. It was like, nope, they're absolutely not. And I get where he's coming from. I also get where other people are coming from. They are really pricey, and you need to find the right spot to hit. And doesn't the Leo 2A4 maybe do more on the front line? But yeah, if you get the right hits, they can be really, really annoying. And on this map, where the enemy has to be in specific spots, or you get a lot of ground, this can be paying off nicely.
Martelot going down in the north. Motorstrelki are just walking across the field. Luke's taking a few shots at the Motorstrelki as they walk across.
The MP2 gets taken out by Leo 1A1 in the north. The other one gets shot up as well. As the Leo 1A1 is a nice addition there, helping out as it doesn't quite get one-shot by the Conquerors. And the Martyrs all got taken out, but now the Leo 1A1 is still roaming, whilst the BMPs are a bit lower. Not a great range for ATGMs up there, and that helps out big time. BMP2s in the south, desperately trying to deal with a Leo 2A4, but it still has 3 hit points, and it can take them out one shot on these ranges. So yeah, that's why BMP2s aggressively don't quite work in this matchup. They can do a decent work on the defense, where they can take out the Martyrs, where they can deal damage and push back Leos, but killing off the Leos is problematic, and as long as the enemy keeps them repaired, those Leo 2A4s will just grow in number here.
Yeah, and one thing that bottom feeder can note here, the Alouette now going up a veterancy level, so he's able to identify and pretty much know where that Iltis is in middle right now if he decides he wants to try to CV snipe it with some artillery here. Something I have been victim of from bottom feeder, so I'm curious if he will do that. Yeah, you can see here the Jaguars coming in here, shooting a bunch of ATGMs in here, getting all the BMPs kicked out of the zone. It's going to be some Motorstrokely on their own. 2A4 is going to go ahead and hit some shots here. Probably shut down this push here relatively quickly.
We have the motor strikers making it into a town in the south, though, as Static wasn't retreating with the infantry into the forest, so the BMP2s actually got the better out of them. But Leo 2A4 now with 3 hit points had to disengage, so that, if they can get into a good spot, might help out, though no reinforcements coming in for the next minute. Some BMP2s finally on the way, but Pioneers on the other side most likely will arrive first, so in the end, this might still not be able to swing the Bravo point just yet, and especially with a BO-105 above it, the Eagle are just a bit too slow arriving there as well. Losing the BMP2s, this is pretty painful, but Starek is getting control over the middle again, and did win the north in the end as well. Leo 1A1 went down, but the BO-105s are just such a great addition. They only got 55 points, so they only need to kill one BMP2, and they're already paid off, and with the Hot 2 or Hot 1 missiles, they can do that pretty easily.
Pioneers just barely getting out of the Unimog just in time here. Yeah, not okay. So bottom feeder also going to get a CV in on the north. However, the Panzergrens have shown up on the field. Also, Stardeck buying a Leopard 2A3 to shut down anything over there as well. That is going to be a massive problem for bottom feeder at this point. The Mars is also holding its fire. Can't tell where it's. It is aiming. It is aiming pretty darn close to those T-80BVs in that BMP2 in mid-corner.
Yeah, that hits, and then the Leos can follow that up when the T-80BV is slowed down.
Oh, that is exactly what is happening right now.
Oh no. T-80BV is moving in the right direction to disengage out of it without getting hit, so that's a good move by bottom feeder. Even the BMP2 might make it out alive. So bottom feeder just doing the correct move, but the Sapari Comrade, they don't have smoke as a leader, so they can't disengage there. So that leader at least will go down, and the T-80BV IZD now in gun range for the Leos, and it won't win that gunfight 1 versus 3. Especially not with Jaguars trying to get on top of it as well. BMP2 without ATGM. The Conqueror's helping out from the side. It's a 20 damage missile, so it can one-shot Leos with side shots. Ooh, the ADBV gets a side shot kill.
Yep.
This goes better for bottom feeder than expected so far, as Stardeck has to retreat. Surprising that Stardeck didn't push just a bit closer to find the kill. Aufklärers didn't push really with it for the perfect spotting either. So the Sapari Comrade actually got out of there alive as well somehow. But at the same time started getting more involved into the north. But that was a good engagement by bottom feeder. Really quick reaction and moving into exactly the right position to get a side shot with the T-80 whilst having the Conquerors firing missiles out.
This horde in the south of BMPs looks very daunting. For lack of a better term here for Stardeck. Stardeck not investing 1A1 down there. 1A5 going to the north as well to cap out.
And Mars having the issue that if you fire it with half salvo, you need a bit of luck. The Conquerors, they're just sitting between the shots and not getting hit. Yeah, the Leo 2A4 is around there in the south though, and there's not a single T-80BV that can tank a couple of shots. And the BMP-1s on this range, they are all one-shot to the high 21 pen guns, so even with 5 BMP-2s, you can't really take this engagement with a Milan 2 and the Leo 2A4 around. So this is not quite working out.
I'm looking here. It's kind of just zone trading at this point. Now, I think Stardeck, because he has a sizable force up north now, I suspect that he will now kind of start slowly pushing towards Foxtrot. Maybe he'll even go for it pretty quickly. He does have the Luke's leading. It's going to see that Igla. It's probably going to see that there's nothing there. Bottom feeder buying 2 BMPs to cover that flank. But, ooh.
Yeah, bottom feeder.
That is many BMP. That is many BMPs in the south.
Yeah, it's 5 BMPs, but they are up against a good couple of Leos here, and they are at a range where the Leos can just shoot them, and that's what's happening to one of them there right now. We will have 3 T-80BVs now in the middle, and there's only one Leo there. Spetsnaz GRU is around there as well as good recon, though I don't quite believe it can see the Jaguar. As at the meantime, Stardeck just going to rush through the north now. Bottom feeder was not holding at a good defensive spot there, and Stardeck was able to grind that down without many losses. And now Stardeck is just rushing through there. So that loss might just have been one too many here, as I don't see how bottom feeder can get up there in time to stop Foxtrot from falling. And if Foxtrot falls, that's a +3, and a +3 on this map is a pretty brutal take.
That it is, yeah. And honestly, bottom feeder at this point, if he does lose this game, he could just blame the Coups. These Coups have just done, they've hit like what, 2 shots maybe the whole game?
Yeah. The BMP2s here, yeah, they try to engage again, but the Leo 284 is around. As I said, they win against Martyrs, they have the better autocannon, they have the better missile, but against the Leo 284s, they just can't do much. A single T80BV here in the south would have helped out a good bit as an anchor unit that then can eat a shot or two, being the focus that the Leo 284 also shoots first at, whilst the BMP2s could fire their missiles without getting killed off. But this is not what happened, and instead the BMP2s now getting sliced up. The 3 T80BVs in the middle, they try to get some kills, but they don't have any AA around there, and the cheap BO-105 gets into position to ruin their whole day. But they at least push back the Leo 2s, but yeah, the BO-105, if that can come around, if that can get a hit or two, the T80BVs will get it inefficient. F4 finally goes down.
Finally, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Just as the third coup was coming in. F4 FAT, oh, that could be scary. No smoke there on the T80BVs right now. Side shot potential there. Yeah, one goes down. They get the AT, but the second one goes down to a Leo 185, getting a side shot from the other side. So, oh, another side shot. And the last missile comes in, and there we go. GG is called, and Startek wins game number 1.
Wow, this KD, I was not expecting it to be this lopsided. I guess maybe those last couple of kills probably made it more lopsided, but it did not feel like bottom feeder was too far behind. But based off the KD, looks like he was quite far behind.
Yeah, Startek also had the investment into the AA. Startek had 5 Leos on the battlefield against 5 or 6 Leos versus only 3 T80BVs there. So those numbers, it was not the number of units, but it was the quality of units that was a good bit different there on the battlefield. And yeah, those Leo 284s just not really getting killed. There was one good tank engagement there, but you need T80BVs in this matchup, even though it feels painful to use them in 1v1s against Leos. But if you don't have them, your BMPs just get popped, and then they don't trade. And that's an issue. So you have to anchor around some T80s, and they were just lacking a number here.
The BVs feel so bad to use right now. Unfortunately, they're in my opinion, not a great spot in the game. Think about decks that also have BVs. Like 27th, yeah. Whenever you're playing 27th, I mean, you're really not bringing any BVs. You're just relying on your BMP3s to shoot ATGMs right now. As the meta, you have a couple in your deck, but it's only used for emergency purposes, in my opinion, right now. You're not using them as a penetrating force or anything like that.
Yep. But yeah, as I said, I think that's why bottom feeder didn't brought them, obviously. But I believe on this map, where the ranges are not always great for ATGMs, you need them just to soak some shots, because everything else just gets popped one shot, and that's a problem.
And I'm also assuming that Startek got to counterpick into bottom feeder for this game, which would make a lot of sense as well.
Yeah. So with that said, game number 1 is best of 3. Startek on match point. That means we will have to see if bottom feeder can come back, or if Startek can seal the deal and get over to the semifinals. So a short break, guys, and then we're going to be back with game number 2 here. Here we go. Game number 2, as we are on airport, and it's a duel of the 4th divisions, as we have on the right side bottom feeder playing around the 4th division. That is one of the top divisions right now, and then on the other side we have a division that people are still on the fence about. Some called it absolutely useless, but lately people started to make it work, and Startek is one of those, as he's coming in here with 4th ZMAC, and this is going to be really, really interesting, as that matchup on this map feels pretty odd. But before we jump in there, quick shout out to the Matcherino page, guys, where you can help out funding the whole event. We're up to already $370, and we're about to reach the next stretch goal at $400, where the Division 3 winners will get a bit of the prize money as well. And if you want to see me in another Cold War uniform for the finals, we'll bring it all to 500, guys. And thanks for all the support there. Thanks for all the follows here. And yeah, don't forget to follow over at Jeremy's channel either, as we get into this here. And yeah, what do you know about this fourth ZMech coming up here?
Stardeck is very good for CMAC player. He's probably one of the best ones on the ladder currently. I've seen him play this so much and just absolutely punish so many people who underestimate the power for CMAC. He's also kind of trend set with this deck as well. A lot of the top players now picking up for CMAC into their ranked rotation of divisions. And so we'll see here if he's able to pull it off against Bottom Feeder, who Bottom Feeder probably, again, one of the best 4E players in the game right now. I watched a lot of his games, and him just beat the crap out of many people that I was like, oh, this will be a fair matchup. No, this was not a fair matchup. So I'm glad to see these two decks making it in right now.
Yeah, we have cheetahs here coming in to shoot down helicopters that can come in. We have obviously the super strong layer 2s in this division, the YPRs with good autocannons, but on the other side we have the dirt cheap BMP1s with solid infantry. Like the Polish infantry, it's all solid across the board, and their tanks, they got buffed a bit as well in price, the Merida, so the fourth ZMAC really hit another level of cost efficiency lately. And then they have the Honkeries. And it's just so annoyingly fast with its special forces inside as a special forces truck that it can get into places where you really didn't expect them to show up. So the KCT Volcanoes here being pretty defensive with their setup here, but Stardeck is trying to gobble up as much of the map as possible with this opener.
Yeah, I'm suspecting here that these honkers are going to be just a pain in the ass for Bottom Feeder for most of this game. One of the big issues that with the honkers is because they get upvetted, with the special forces trait, they drive just a little bit faster and they get to everywhere quickly. We can see the MI autocannon recon helicopters here also being a pain. I'm not sure how much recon Bottom Feeder is going to be left with here on the map. Starting 2 recon units here against those honkers and the MI2s. That's a little scary because you're going to be put into a position here where you might not have any vision by the time your units get onto the field.
Yeah, KCT Volcanoes get overrun, but at least the cheetahs doing what cheetahs need to do. We have 4 of them on the battlefield already. They are the best gun-based AAPs in the game, as they have really good accuracy, and every bit of accuracy matters so much on those gun units, so doing a good job here. Stardeck, though, landing the helicopter, and we still have it that landed helicopters still can fire the ATGMs. Eugen hasn't fixed that yet, so they're doing a good job up here. The SU-22.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, it gets all of them. Bad spacing there. Really, really bad spacing by Bottom Feeder, and it gets punished massively there. The SU-22 cluster taking out all 3 cheetahs there that were just behind the smoke. iHawk immediately gets brought in. At least the helicopter gets killed by Leo 2A4 while it's still on the ground, but this is a massive, massive blow to the air defense here. And at the same time,
2A4 just eating conkers right now. Oh my goodness.
That has to run out of there. At least the DAF supply truck is already there, but this Leo will be cost inefficient for a while. It's also 0 vet Leo 2A4, so till it recovers that stress, it will take forever. So these conquerors already basically have done their job, but there's no ATGM on the other side, so nothing can shoot back on these conquerors. That's one of the big weaknesses of the Dutch. They don't have any cost-efficient ATGM. They only have TOW2s. Yeah, the cluster here, lurking in the shadow.
Another cluster. Oh no. Don't do him like this, Stardeck. Don't do him like this. The Mirror is finally arriving on the field as well. This could be disastrous. Cluster gonna come in. It is it.
Oh, it was so close. It was just about to leave that zone. Good movement there by Bottom Feeder, but it didn't have just enough time to dodge it there fully. Smoke was just reloaded, and the F-16 doesn't even get the kill. It goes down to 2 OSA hits. As the OSA is at 3 vet here, started going there for the max vet strategy there to really make sure that it can get some hits. And yeah, now we get some iHawks coming, but there's nothing here that can kill the Meridas or the Conquerors on the battlefield anymore, and Stardeck can just keep on pushing here.
Stardeck completely taking the middle town zone too. Gonna be able to cut off a lot of reinforcements here if he's able to identify that he has it for free. Looking like he is sending a few units over to the northern zone right now as well.
Merida getting killed on some Vecarnus. There is a good amount of extra Vecarnus on the battlefield, but yeah, now the Leopard 1 and Ls have to figure this out. One Leo 2A4B coming in to follow it up all up, but Red side just having so much better combined arms right now on the battlefield. It's only infantry on the front lines here right now for bottom feeder, and a couple of YPRs, but with their autocannon only, they can't do anything about the low amounts, but enough numbers of armored units here right now for Static.
I'm curious to know why bottom feeder is bringing in all of his tanks at 0 vet right now. I'm just assuming that he thinks he's going to outrange his Meritas and just win the game that way, but it is not looking so hot right now for bottom feeder. You can see here that the BMP1 is chasing down the YPR command right now as well, which is hilarious. But it was on a Q move, so it's gonna stop, shoot the northern YPRs. Bottom feeder does smoke those off just in time. Gonna go on a pretty nice tick here with no obvious way for bottom feeder to get back into this game right now.
Yeah, bottom feeder needs to find a way to kill off those Meridas without losing units, so the Leos better get onto their hunting mode. Next Leo 2A4C coming in here. And yeah, I guess he was like, if I outnumber the enemy cluster bombers with Leo 2A4Cs, then I can trade them 1-1, but he didn't trade them 1-1. He didn't kill a single one of the cluster bombers yet, but they killed both the Cheetahs and the Leo 2A4C already. So that whole strategy of not upvetting them here is not really paying off. And the Leo 2A4B here coming on now.
I believe bottom feeder did the same thing with the 2v2 tournament as well. He was playing a lot of 4E, and I believe that he was doing the exact same thing where he was not upvetting his tanks, but he was able to win the tournament. So there's got to be some science here that he must have found out or he really likes in his playstyle, but I personally am not a fan of this.
Yeah, the NL's getting outranged by the Meridas. The MP1's there with the ATGMs. No real AA against the Mi-24V either. You can't hunt them down with iHawks. And yeah, the Cheetah's all down, so this is not looking all that hot. F-16 cluster coming in, but it's going for a BMP-1 here. That's not a valuable target. Doesn't quite get the helicopter.
Terrible valuable.
Oh, and the OSA gets the hit on return. Does get the second missile out, but this cluster bomber won't come back anytime soon. As the Leo 2A4 at least gets a couple of kills there, a couple of BMP-1s down. And the Meridas did smoke off, so the Leo 2A4 could hunt them off if the kill on the Mi-24 would have happened. But that one is still up, and it still can shoot. It's low accuracy, but it has enough cocons that it will hit eventually. And that is a big problem.
Oh no, in the north, T-55 AMS gonna go ahead and take out some units here. We could see here as well, Stardeck into Anna as well. He might be thinking about sending a CV there, get that fast tick. I'm gonna guess that the WD right now is gonna probably head in to Anna. That Pichota Zemek just kind of walking its way through Anna, just like, ooh, what's around here? Ooh, let me see what I can find. And he's not finding anything, is what he's finding right now. Not in a great position. Cheetah, okay, I was waiting for bottom feeder to buy a Cheetah here to deal with this Mi-24, because that is going to be a problem for him here, because he has no A other than those iHawks up, and trying to just walk those up is going to be disasters, potentially.
Yeah, but he
can see
he really needs to get a wrecking ball online relatively soon, and then just go for a rampage with the higher class units. But obviously, Stardeck
needs a cheap breakthrough.
Yeah, Stardeck will try to just play around that with the cheaper, more agile units. Try to dismantle the combined arms when he can pick it off, like he did with that cluster bomber earlier. And then, if you don't have the combined arms online, the fifth, like all the Polish, all the East German divisions, they are so low to the ground and can get so many cheap units that they always have combined arms. And if you don't have combined arms against them, you're pretty cooked. Like, 4th Smack basically just being a extension of what 4th Motschützen did since 2022. And Static was always good with that division as well, so I'm not surprised that he is the one that makes 4th CMAC work here either.
See here, we do have this Death Ball of Leopards coming up here. Okay, Stardeck deciding, thinking better of the situation, thinking, oh, this is probably not the fight that I want to take. some NLs as well as an Anna right now.
Oh
Oh no, this
no.
Pachota might get some.
Yeah, it's getting into a better
Okay,
position so that it can take the side shots there. And currently, recons haven't spotted it. The Leo 1NL saw them for a second, but I don't think bottom feeder saw them. So
I don't think bottom feeder is aware at all that they're there. Oh no.
that will be side shots or maybe even rear shots here. Yeah, routed, and at least the other tanks get involved here. So the second NL won't run into it. They
This poor NL just running for its life right now.
This mag pretty low, so the rate of fire on the RPG is too low to really get the kill there. But still did enough damage here, did reduce the speed of the push in the north, so that the cheetah there will be falling to the T-55 AMS. And the YPR most likely will fall, and Sarek will be able to fully entrench up there, meaning that now bottom feeder needs to win the center, or he loses the game in the next 9 minutes. And he needs to get in here quickly now, as the north is lost, but the ATGMs here just holding him off too well. The cheetah not quite there to deal with the Mi-24 just yet. And cluster bomber dual strike coming in here. iHawks need to find the hits immediately, and they don't! Oh, cluster goes for them now. It finds both of them.
God.
Oh god.
Oh no. I think bottom feeder may have the worst AA luck I have seen in a long time. That is terrible. That is heinous. That is not supposed to happen. Oh no.
Yeah.
Bottom feeder totally has reason to cope right now of saying my AA didn't hit shit, that's why I lost the game, and I would totally agree with him. My god, that's terrible.
Leo 2A4s and Leopard 1 and ults coming around, YPRs getting in here, and yeah, this is... Now Air can just completely bully this. There we go, SU-22 AT on the battlefield. There's no AA outside of one cheetah. Then one cheetah still can do surprising amount of damage when you fly directly over it, but it can't quite get the kills, and yeah, there we go. GG is called, and Stardeck is moving on to the semifinals.
Congratulations, Stardeck. Just what a beatdown. What an unlucky, but also, you know, Stardeck, great player. Not taking away from him, but that AA, I can tell you this. So if I was bottom feeder right now, I would be absolutely molding on stream if I was playing these on stream. I will say that.
Yeah, there was also obviously a mistake there to clump it up as much, but yeah, also not getting the hits there and being baited into the smoke so that the cheetahs couldn't open up fire against the first SU-22 in time to get at least a kill. Like if the cheetahs would have died but gotten the kill in the trade-off, that would have been kinda okay. But as they died and the SU-22 could come around later once more, this was just absolute disaster.
Yeah, that was rough. That was a rough scene, tough scene. Hate to see it.
Yeah, the iHawks there not finding the shots early on to push them back was pretty tough as well. And yeah, really well played by Sadek though. Really going for breaking apart the enemy divisions and then exploiting the lack of combined arms time and again. And yeah, well-deserved victory here. And it's going to be interesting to see Stardeck versus Scuff, because yeah, Scuff also just such a standard but really, really consistent player. That's what made him beat Fortitude Fans, where Stardeck always a bit tricky, but not quite to the same extent as Fortitude Fans. And obviously still younger without carpal tunnel syndrome, so in a bit of better shape in that regard as well. By the way, get better, yes. Fortitude Fans. We want to see you back. Hope your wrist is improving again.
Yeah, he needs to be put on the disabled list or whatever for a little bit. Needs to take some time off, get healed up. I mean, he did win the North American Open, so it's not like he's washed or anything. I know a lot of people have been talking before, like, "Hey, Fence is kind of washed. He's not rank 1 anymore." He's still a great player. I still haven't beat him. I've only gotten bullied by him, but I would be curious to see that Scuff and Stardeck matchup. That's gonna be a great set of games.
Yeah. And another person that was called washed and that still made it into the quarterfinals was Leifens. He lost against Stahlbrecher though, so maybe the washed calls are still right. But Stahlbrecher needs an opponent now, and we have a good series of two well-known names in the community here as well. Woe versus Dark Neutron. Uh, Dark Neutron, some really strong runs in the past, super tournaments there, uh, semifinals before in WARNO League seasons as well. But as of late, WoW has the better record in the last couple of months. So it's going to be interesting to see if our player from Down Under can bring it around again, as he's a bit more back into the game lately, or if WoW can just keep doing what he's doing and move on here to the semifinals, as might be expected here in that semifinal. So
Yeah, no, both great players. Incredible, incredible. Both have influenced me heavily in Warno. Both helped me out whenever I first started playing ranked and things like that, or started actually trying to be better at ranked. So I'm really excited to see this matchup. I don't have a favorite here, um, but this should be great. These guys, there's a stylistic difference here between the two that I think will be very interesting to see which one comes on top.
yeah, I wonder if we will see the OG Dark Neutron double tank opener coming back. Though I don't quite think we're in that meta anymore, but he was the first one to really popularize that back like 1.5 years ago. It obviously isn't quite the meta anymore, as we saw the reaction from Derek's and making tank CVs more expensive, but I would love to see that just for the nostalgia. But yeah, short break, guys, and then we're gonna go into the next quarterfinal here. So don't you run away. So here we go. Series number 4 in the quarterfinals, finding the final semi-finalist here. And we have a really cool matchup, division-wise and player-wise at that. As we have Dark Neutron here on the left side, on the 4th division. But our American buddy here on the right side, involves me, is bringing in a division that we just had a bit of confusion about, because that's not a classic WoW division here. As we see 20th Panzerna though, like, if it would be Tiberius Rancor, absolutely, this is a Tiberius Rancor division, but it's not really a WoW, it's me division. So let's see what his matchup will bring here. What do you think can 20th Panzerna do in this matchup?
I'm not really sure what I just asked well, whoa, indeed said he got counterpicked. Now, if we look at the deploy here, he's going all up in the center. I'm gonna guess he's gonna crash into Anna right now. That's what the deploy looks like. Um, I haven't seen this from Woe. Knowing anything about Woe, it's rush B, go fast, win fast. So I'm curious to see what the strategy is here going into Anna. The T55 AS, I know that Woe is in love with these things, as am I, that he's going to try to clear out Anna very quickly and just basically get dug in there like a tick and never leave. And then probably work back in the Fedor and maybe Boris as well. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen here. I could be very, very wrong, though.
Yeah, on the other side, obviously, we just saw 4th Division in the last game. And we see at least the one Leo 24 CV. That's what Dark Neutron basically falls on lately, playing one CV tank early on. Not the classic double TDBV that he brought in the past, but it's still close enough here. So it's a classic kind of Dark Neutron setup, being pretty standard, fighting with the CV tank, bringing some power there while still capturing stuff. And yeah, then the double recon here with the helicopters, Dark Neutron adapting there to the classic meta currently, just trying to get as much intel as possible early on. Only one recon helicopter on the other side so far, but it has some guns, so in a duel recon helicopter versus recon helicopter, it would win. And then, yeah, just classic focus on Theodore, where you have the better range tanks for the 4th Divisa here. And going for Boris a bit as well here. But yeah, what is the rest of WoW? WoW just abandoned the northern strategy, I think. Or at least swung a bit around, as more things are going to Boris now. And even a bit of things going to Theodore.
Yeah, it looks like he has thought better of that. I wonder. This looks like somewhat of a half-hearted push, to be quite honest, here to Anna. Obviously, I don't know anything about this game, but I would think, well, smashing into Anna, distracting Dark Neutron the whole game would actually not be a terrible idea here. Woe's got very, very good micro that he would be able to keep a lot of his infantry alive, and Anna if he's able to break in there, and then just win the rest of the game. Dark Neutron, historically, to me, has been a much slower player than Woe. So stylistically, I think this is going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, we come around here with a good couple of Malyutka Ps. just rushing around the spot into the middle. And then, yeah, there's still enough force here that a crash into the north from Anna can work out, but it doesn't quite have the force of what we saw first deployed there. It's only down to a bit of Saberzi and Scott Ace, a couple of BMP-1s, and one T-72 rolling through there with the classic recon deployment around it. But that can be stopped in Anna if Dark Neutron realizes that early enough and gets enough reinforcements into that. Whilst, yeah, he is focused more on just going straight towards Boris, though. So we might see a weird trade where Boris goes blue and Anna goes red, which I would love to see. I love when this map gets weird. And it usually just plays around Boris and the classic Boris grind, and something different here would be lovely.
Yeah, then it becomes a race of who can get Boris, or if Woe can get Boris back, or if Dark Neutron can get Anna back quicker. Then they're able to reinforce into their respective zone that they've capped. So that will be interesting to see.
But yeah,
There's not. Okay, this is just an interesting deploy. I've never seen Woe play it like. Oh, I take it back. I think I have seen him crash Anna before, but Dark Neutron does have that toe 2 going to the church in Anna, which, that does shut off a lot of the lane there for Woe to rush B fast into Anna.
Yeah, the MR13s are all going to the middle though, so none of them going to Anna. That could have been a nice as well to stop the honker stuff from really getting painful. And yeah, in the north, BO105, some Vercanners, one on Triss that actually goes pretty aggressively, but it will be too slow for the honkers most likely. So yeah, the BO105s have to do some recon work. I wonder if there will be any MiG-21s. I don't believe there's quite enough left for it, but there might just be enough for an A8 MiG-21 to shoot out the BO105s, because you kind of want to conceal what's going to happen here. And shooting those down might be worth that investment into an early fighter.
Yeah, that BO105 is going to see it's going to see the whole deploy here. I mean, MI2 could, with the honker, maybe be enough to shoot it down, just maybe. We have a... Oh, Dark Neutron's units got a little stuck into the deploy there. He's got 2 infantry units coming up a little bit late now.
Yeah, though they're going towards Boris, where they are not as important. They are in faster... No, they are 13 actually, not that fast, but the Nantrace will keep up with the tanks anyway, so not the biggest issue. But yeah, the really important thing is what will these helicopters see on both sides. And if that BO-105 finds all that movement in the north, this could be quite the tell here for Dark Neutron. No MiG-21 being bought just yet. Minute 1 tick might still be an option, but no, it's not coming. And the BO-105s will see a decent amount here. The Honker Reese obviously can shoot it down, but then they have to actually chase it. The one in the south is attempted, but Dark Neutron too quick with direction. The northern one, the BO-105 can dodge it as well. Sees the Honker Reese going for Anna, and that should be a decent enough tell that something is going to come in there.
No rotation coming in here just yet from Dark Neutron. Oh, that ropes especial is in the face of that poor Vikenners, and the honkers are just gonna fire support that down.
Yeah, MI2 they're
also
coming
in middle, not looking, just getting assault rifled and machine gunned down right now as well.
Yeah, TOW2 is coming around. The MI2 US might be able to deal with that though. That would be really frustrating. There is a cheetah on the way, and the MR13 actually getting on top of it with the autocannon. First Honker Rus going down in the north, the Nantres coming in there as reinforcements. We see now some units moving around, but still nothing going in there into the north. The engineers and so on, it seems like Dark Neutron is fine trading Boris for Anna and just going outright to get the kill there.
The Vikenners in the south as well, causing Woe a lot of pain here. They got into a great position. Woe coming out with the Su-22 first tick. Gonna take out the TOW. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
iHawk not finding a hit here, being on the same amount of alcohol as the Coop's last game. But the Leo 2A4 gets engaged to engage the BMP1 here in the south. Doesn't find the hit here. Though most likely gonna lose the infantry and the BMP in the south, so Fedor is going to be in the hands of Dark Neutron. But the question is, can Dark Neutron crush Boris fast enough? Because Anna will fall to Woe, but can Dark Neutron get into good spots there? It's not a comfortable position for sure, but he gets more kills right now. So units number wise, Woe has paid a bit for getting into the better positions. The question is, can he make Dark Neutron pay for that, and can he kill off his units from the side now, force some side shots and so on, or can Dark Neutron actually wiggle his way out of the somewhat precarious positioning that he is right now?
Yeah, and Woe did not cap center with the command tank as it drove by. I've seen him do this a couple times. I think it's just for tempo purposes, but the T-72 did just kind of sit up there for a little bit, not do a whole lot. He could have had a cap there as well.
Yeah, Saperzi in the town. Those are great infantry. They have both the satchel charges and the Komar RPG. The RPG is terrible, but it is an RPG, and that's better than all the other engineer units in the game. So vehicles can't get close there. And yeah, Dark Neutron getting more infantry on the battlefield, getting more autocannons onto the battlefield, but not really getting them into any strong positions right now, outside of Fedor, where he dominates, but that's only 1 point, whilst the other 3 points in the center right now, all looking pretty red right now.
Yeah, not... Oh, here we can see Dark Neutron finally rotating and pushing a few units here. Cluster Bomber does come out for Dark Neutron. Gonna go for the T-72.
That's a kill, right? Yes.
That's good, yeah.
That is really important. Now the NLs have a lot easier time actually controlling that area. There's only a second T-72, another T-72 M1D coming in now from the rear. The third CV tank here, actually, from Woe. So paying a bit of extra for just getting sure that he keeps the point captured with those tanks. And maybe buffing up the units around them, though you don't want to actually push them that close, I guess. So yeah, just for the capture points here, which on Black Forest are always hard to get. Capture points are pretty tough to gain resource here, so it might be worthwhile, but without the center one, actually sending a T-72M to center? What? Okay, this is weird splitting off these units like this.
Yeah, I don't... My guess here is Woe is trying to do some sort of breakout maneuver, I guess? I'm not 100% sure. That's my only guess here, is that he's going to try to break out. F-16 cluster gonna... Oh, God.
Oh, this is brutal. Yeah, the AA's only coming in now. SU-32 rocket on the other side is around. It has air-to-air missiles, but it's only R-60Ms, and they are not finding the target. And the F-16 is the faster plane, gets out of there with only slight amount of damage, not even a full hit point that it lost there. So yeah, both T-72M1Ds on the battlefield down now, and this is pain. The last one doesn't even go there anymore because Woe knows he doesn't have the AA to protect it, so might as well just capture center at this point. Go up there, and now the Leo 1NLs have an amazing time on this battlefield. The BMP ones, or the BVP ones, they have an ATGM, but it's not good enough to one-shot anything here, and you will kill them off eventually.
Yeah, it's more of a suppression. It's just going to do suppression right now against these 1NLs. And the one thing, again, to note, Dark Neutron bringing the 1NLs in a 0-vet. So that is a curious... It seems to be kind of the meta right now. A lot of these 4E players bringing in a lot of tanks at 1-vet.
Yeah.
At least he brings the 2A4B with one veteran. Good lord, I would be concerned if Dark Neutron's doing that. There must be something weird going on if that's the case.
Yeah, Genies and Panzer Infantry winning the fight against the Pichota. And the BMP ones there, they are great supporting the T-72s by just, sending ATGMs the other way, forcing the enemy to maneuver or getting suppression hits. But on their own, the BMP ones don't do much. They just get one-tapped here by the Leos, and that's the problem, because the T-72s all got clustered away. 3 of them coming in from the rear, but they are not here yet. 4th one even coming in now, which is the Wilk. But nothing here to stop the Leos right now, and they can go onto a rampage. The +2 is nice, but how do you dodge the Leos here for the next 3 minutes until your tanks arrive?
Right, exactly. It's going to be getting Vision Fire supporting it down. Right now, there's nothing for Woe to actually fend off this push. You can see here the Leopard 2A4 is also going to go for middle right now. It's going to go take Boris really quick. Oh.
Buster F16 in on it again. Doesn't really have a target right now. Might just try to go for the coup, but there's 2 of them, and with this much range, they push it out. So F16 this time around won't find anything. But T-72M1D shows itself now in the north again, whilst you get a decent amount of IHawks on the other side, so the Su-22s will eventually be pushed out as well until the Danas maybe can clear that up. And the Leos here, it's not pushing as hard as I expected. Su-22 immediately gets pushed out. Dana will get on top of that immediately. That's a good move here.
Yeah, Dark Neutron just taking it slow and steady. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. The +2 tick, if Dark Neutron's confident that he's going to be able to get this tick back, I'm sure that going down 500, 600, even 1,000 points right now is not the most of his worries right now. Oh, yeah. Cluster coming in.
The coups are too far away, so there goes the third one. Coup missing the first shot. On this long range, the accuracy is not great. There are 0 wet coups as well, so only 45% accuracy on long range. And not getting the kill here. IHawk at least gets gunned down by the Dana potentially. Gets loaded into transport last second. And the Dana, it's not the most accurate gun, because it only has 17k range, which is not the best for these kind of vehicles. So not landing on target there, especially not without any recon there, getting an accurate shot. And that means the IHawk now will always start moving, because now Dark Neutron knows that the Dana is around. The first salvo is always the strongest one, before the enemy reacts to you having artillery. From now on out, the IHawk will be constantly moving away from the Dana.
Yeah, at this point, I think if you're Woe, you kind of have to think about rotating, kind of the things that are in the town, they're just going to die. Let's rotate. Let's make something else happen.
Side-shotting against a 72M1 there. This is pain.
Yeah, you've got to, I think was got to, yep, okay, here it comes. Here comes the rotation in. He's going to start spawning units in the Boris to clean this up. Just hold the middle zone, or excuse me, hold the town for as long as you can, and then start working a different angle here, because I just don't think right now that Woe is in a position to really keep fighting for this town. He's got to rotate out, try to catch some stuff off guard, hopefully. I think that's best case scenario for Woe currently.
Yeah, Wilk moving around here to the south now. That's a pretty strong tank. It can easily eat up Leo 1s, and it can somewhat hold up to Leo 2s. Though, usually you still want to have a 2 versus 1 situation, and against the Leo 2A4C, it still doesn't do much. But yeah, the BMP1 number is now getting pretty impressive on the battlefield. While the Dana, can it get some damage in here now? It actually goes for some low value targets, but cleaning up all the infantry could be a way of winning this as well. The Dutch infantry is maybe their weakest part. So your Polish infantry, that is a bit better with some artillery support, maybe can hold out in the center of Anna for a good while, at least keeping the zone contested, whilst the enemy can't just get in there with their vehicles, because they will eat AT from everything. Oh no, cluster bomber coming around again. Doesn't find the Volk. Coups this time around. Can they find a hit? Nope. 2 misses again against the 30 ECM F16. F16A gets out of there again. And yeah, T-72's moving in there in the north now, but there is a Leo 2A4B already. That one has 21 pen. And if that gets onto your T-72M, you are in trouble as well, as that's the one without smoke.
Right, and Woe here he's doing an okay job of fending off this push, like just keeping Dark Neutron just far back enough that he doesn't have to worry as much about things getting in. We can see there's only 2 infantry units right now in the town right now. Cluster is coming out though. Here, forward Dark Neutron decides better of it.
Tries to go for the Dana, but yeah, goes a bit close to the coups maybe this time. MiG-21 trying to come around, doesn't find the kill. Leo actually gets shot up by the Dana there, but it just barely gets away. The high speed of the Leo there saving its ass. MiG-21 goes down to the IHawk, and in the end it's 1 tank and a plane down for Woe without anything to show for it.
And now we're looking. Here's the rotational gameplay that I was talking, or not. It's not even really a rotation. It's the shifting of the initiative here that was going for that I was looking for. See here now to the south, getting a big stack of units. Dark Neutron doesn't have a whole lot in the south. He must have seen it or is aware of it because he is bringing units over to stop a mechanized push here right now. Surprise are going to be pushing in the north though, just right outside of the town. Matera, okay. I could see where Woe could potentially win this, but I think it's heavily favoring Dark Neutron right now.
Yeah, Dark Neutron
Despite the +2 take.
got the better KD. Woe needs to go for the point game now. Like, he needs to go for getting this into a position where Dark Neutron doesn't get a tick until like the 25-minute, 30-minute mark, and Woe up until then is above 1,000 points, and then you just try to play it from there and kill off CVs when you see them, and maybe get a CV into the enemy rear when you can get to do that, whilst just taking trades 4 points. And yeah, the F-16 this time around might finally die. Coops here trying to get the shots in. The 30 ECM keeping it alive for a while there, but it finally goes down, so that's one of them down eventually, and that allows the T-72 to move a bit more freely now, but it's still a lot of Leos here on the battlefield right now.
Yeah, a lot of Leos at TOE2, and Fedor is going to cause issues too. The Danish should be able to take care of that though when it decides it wants to start firing again. And we can see here Dark Neutron getting back into the town. He's going to get the full cap here because Woe has no CV even close. Dark Neutron actually probably going to go on a tick here relatively soon. That Leopard in the middle town in Boris is going to be probably shoved in there pretty soon here. He's going to be able to get in for free.
Yeah, Woe trying to get a BRDM into Anna again, but there is now a blob of Nantres trying to allow Leos to move to the northern part of Anna, just shooting down any reinforcements trying to get in. And that means that the BRDM getting through is somewhat unlikely at this stage, though Woe is taking the attention away a bit, so maybe there's still enough time for the BRDM to at least get in there, and then the Sapperji to keep on defending it, getting a couple more points here on the board. And yeah, the Woe push for Fyodor is big. That is what might allow him to get back onto a decent tick here, and also obviously can force a good amount of attention away, but you need to be somewhat quick before the Leo plop can roll around, as 2 of them already diverting down to the south here now. And the TOE2 plus YPR, great investments here by Dark Neutron.
Yeah, this is going to stifle out this push. We can see the rotation in from Dark Neutron as well, bringing two A4s over, stomping out this push. Rut row.
BVP goes down, Malutka in a troublesome position. As we see, more Leo 1NLs going towards the center. A lot of supply trucks coming in the north. As I guess the infantry and the tanks up on the northern part of the town are just supposed to be kept alive here now. And
yeah, if you can see my face right now, I'm wincing very hard for Woe because this looks like a potential sweep. I as in sweeping the map, not the set. But it does not look so hot for Woe right now. Woe's just not able to get anything really pushing right now. This rotational gameplay that Dark Neutron's doing with pushing around the 2 A4Cs, just shutting down any sort of push that Woe's trying to get into, is really making it hard for Woe to get any sort of fun going on for him, that he's able to catch things out. We can see here, though, Woe does get VRDM back in, though.
Yeah, and that's just as Dark Neutron moved out the CVs out of there. Dark Neutron will have to put one of them back in there in a second. Whilst an MR10 is now on the battlefield, and that's an important investment, because otherwise I believe Woe could actually really play this in Anna for the long run, with his infantry just being a bit superior, but with MR10s you can start taking out those Sapperjis. And then once you clean up the town, and whilst you have it shut up from the north, though that cutoff has been removed by some T-72Ms, you can clean Anna up again. Dark Neutron down to a +2 tick for though, and yeah, it's not super worrying just yet, but Woe at least getting a slightly better position here for that long grind game that you need to set up for now.
Right, and yeah, like you were saying earlier, Protoss, with the Black Forest being hard to gain a tick lead on, Woe's doing a great job of extending what little lead he can get here to make sure that if it does come to a late game, everyone has to YOLO around and things like that, and just pray that we can get into zones and cap them for a significant amount of time. He's setting himself up to be in a very good spot for that.
Ooh, Leo 1 and else here trying to rotate north, getting shot at by the Fagot teams, but they can't quite get the line of sight right. The Dana is still here, trying to do a good job. Oh, does it go down onto the CV? No, the CV has a bit too many hit points and will capture the zone. Might die to the Dana, but it just gets the +1 here going for Dark Neutron beforehand. Whilst the Leo 2 plop in the south, that's a scary choice to put them all three in the forest. And I'm not sure if that's really the priority that Dark Neutron should have right now with 700 points of his units running around in the forest, but yeah, it's something he can afford at this point, which kind of shows you how much he has on the battlefield.
Yeah, he has got an excess of units right now. We can see here, might be playing that long con game. He has the +1 right now. Hey, just get everything healed, get some infantry ready to go, and then we just basically strategically Q move everything forward is what it's kind of gearing up to be, it looks like, for Dark Neutron.
Yeah, BO-105 still around there. The M110 is coming in here now. Trying to immediately go for the BRDM, but Vo is able to move that around. The M110 not quite on target, so that is not working out here. But the Leo 2s in the north now moving around. It will be 2 Leo 2s and a Leo 1 versus 3 T-72s though, and that should be favored to the T-72s on these ranges, so I wonder if Dark Neutron still has to hold off a bit longer there in the north. M110's for sure a good investment for the grind game as well. They have a good bit more damage than the Dana, and Panzer Infantry here actually might find the BRDM. Oh no, it's
just out of sight. Yeah, and it looks like, Woe is starting to attrition a lot of his units here in the town. He's got significantly less infantry than he used to. Those Natiras are going to start getting healed here to come back in. There are now, it's actually 4 T-72s here. Oh my. Shooting the one NL here.
But they don't spot the Leo 2A4s. Leo 2A4 is already aiming up. Getting a shot before the T-72s can't get one. The MI2 there a bit slow. But, good side shit there to the Leo 2. So it's 1-to-1 trade. And that's obviously good for Woe, who has the numbers there. So Leo 2A4B has to back out of it. And yeah, the MR10's not really finding the most valuable shots yet. Now they try to go for some T-72s there in the center zone. I'm surprised that Vo only now is bringing in a BRDM for Boris to get the capture point. I thought the focus would be a bit more on that part of gameplay, but finds a kill onto the Leo 2 in the north. And Dark Neutron losing 2 key units there. Cluster Bomber gets the T-72M and the Su-22 though, and just barely gets out alive here. So,
yeah,
in the end,
it gets tagged up a little bit here, yeah. Oh my. Woe is kind of in deep right now with these T-72s. Not a whole lot of support here for Dark Neutron to keep this at bay.
Yeah, the lack of ATGM helicopters is one of the weaknesses that the 4th Division has. It's one of their few weaknesses that they got. So, those would be really helpful here right now. And Leo 2s that were stuck in the south have rotated into the center again, but yeah, they would have been really nice in the north right now. And the MR10's still struggling to find value, getting a bit of damage onto a CT-72M, but that's not what you need to get here. You kind of want to take off the HGMs off the battlefield and maybe clear off Anna with them, but they didn't really achieve any hits there. Whilst the Dana continuously getting value here, so artillery play actually going pretty well here for the Vo lately. But the NL getting in the ambush on the side shot. Oh, it misses! How do you miss on 600 meters? What? That's just so unfortunate there for Dark Neutron. It gets come up there again though, but misses again.
Oh no. Dark Neutron though, with the big rotation with the 2A4s, it might be just a little too late here. These T-72s might be able to slip away.
One of them is pretty slow thanks to the stress on it, but yeah, that NL.
I think they're gonna slip away right here. Oh nope, 2A4 is gonna come up. probably finishing off. Okay.
Getting one hit there with the stabilizer. And getting another self-out.
Does
Okay,
get one.
one is down. Okay, so at least that one gets done. But, really unfortunate there with the NL. We see a MiG-21
Oh
in the
no!
sky
Here we can
getting
see
clipped again.
Woe. Yeah, look at Woe in middle right now, realizing that those two A4s got rotated. The two A4s are actually one is out of gas currently. Ain't got no gas in it, so we got a problem here. But now you can see here the push from Woe gonna clean this up over here. Not looking so hot for Dark Neutron right now.
Yeah, 2 more Leo 2A4Bs coming in onto the battlefield. But the one in the north lost to the ATG, the 2 that he lost earlier in the north. They were really, really important. One getting gunned down by the T-72s, the other one going to get gunned down by the AT plane. And he brings out... What? This is classic Dark Neutron play. He had enough money to buy 3 Leo 2A4
What?
CVs right now.
Oh my. This is someone get this man a life jacket. He is floating, fellas. Like, he needs some help right now. And those two A4s, that 2A4 stack is going to be crazy here. And I was like, I bet you Woe is not expecting this whatsoever. He's going to be like, where the hell did he get these? And now he also has the other two 2A4s gassing up right now. I can't imagine Woe is going to be ready for this. That is going to absolutely melt Woe's T-72 stack here.
Yeah, but Woe is getting slightly on the tick again here, and it's getting into the area where getting the tick back becomes critical for Dark Neutron, so maybe with a bit of panicking and some good positioning of Woe can pick off some CVs here, though the amount of CVs on the battlefield here is pretty high now. With those 3 extra, we have another B4 already, we have one more CV vehicle in the north, so 5 CVs on the battlefield, so killing all of those, somewhat unlikely, but you only need to kill them in the right spot and get yours to slip in again. Like, the capture of Feodor might be viable here, for example, but obviously first you need to hold on a bit better here in the middle. T-72 M1s here still trying to take some fights against NLs. They absolutely can, and that's what they do right now. But now the Leo 2A4C getting in here, though. Oh, it got in range of the Pichatas. So Dark Neutron backing out again. Has to take another angle here to find those kills, and Woe is slowly doing it here, maybe.
Yeah, this I think once Woe maybe gets, if he can get to about 1,000 to 1,200 points, I think it might be a point of no return for Dark Neutron. Just kind of doing the math here in my head, very quick maths. It's just becomes a much more difficult proposition for Dark Neutron to get back in here. He still hasn't been able to kick this BRDM out yet as well in the town, that he's able to get a full cap in there, which is also hurting him.
Yeah, his MR10 actually currently out of ammo and not constantly firing. Dark Neutron here slipping a bit on the micro. Just not keeping the, or macro rather in this case, just not keeping his MR10s constantly firing, which on this map is pretty key. The Dana on the other side did that basically non-stop, currently reloading again, and we have a SU-22 rocket here, kind of baiting for things in the south. The Leo 2A4s, they do still great. Killing off a Malyutka, most likely killing off a BMP-1 here in the next shot. But yeah, the rest of the units here currently not doing all that much for Dark Neutron, and that is an issue.
Dark Neutron going to do the patented 10-minute push right here is what it feels like is going to happen. He's just going to drive everything up here in a few seconds.
Yeah, rocket and AT plane coming in here. We have the double IHawk still to try to push this back. Cheetah obviously around as well, but that's not going to be the first strike. Oh, one of the IHawks out of missiles. So the Su-22 AT, it gets one of the Leos. Cheetah gets a good amount of damage. IHawk might be the finishing blow there. No. Su-22 AT gets out alive. So good trade there. MR10 finally starting to shoot something, but it shoots onto an empty building again. The artillery play really not going strong for Dark Neutron in this game.
No, not at all. Both out of ammo as well now, officially. Or no, one has 3 left. Oh, this is just rough. It's a rough scene. Woe gonna get shots in on the IHawk as well. IHawk, no vehicle around to save itself, to drive away, to reposition. And now we're seeing, getting to that point where it's like 1,000 point. Oh, goodness gracious, look into the south.
Ooh.
Oh my god, what the hell is that?
The wave is just rolling in. The SU-22 AT is going for the northern part of the fights, but yeah, they just rinsing through there. No recon vehicle with that.
These Patriota Z-Mechs need to come in clutch right now.
AT plane shoots his final missile. iHawks out of ammo still. And yeah, there comes the Z-Max. They get a good hit there with the first shot. Might find a kill there. No! They go for the other one. And now they get stunned out of there, but still dealing good damage there. No recon vehicle, no M413 with this. It's just a wild choice there by Dark Neutron.
Look at these T-72s about to come over here.
Ooh, getting an NL.
Oh my god.
Getting one.
2.
Though now they overstay their welcome.
Uh-oh. Back out. Beep, beep, beep. Back that ass up. Beep, beep. Back up. Oh, no.
One going down. Oh, side shot!
2A4B, that's get side shot.
Oh, nearly getting the one take there. That T-72 really doing a good job. 3 Leos still here with an NL hunting down the rest though. Yeah, Vo maybe overstepping there into the overstep of Dark Neutron, as he might have felt a bit overconfident there after Dark Neutron just went a bit too deep. NL pushing in. Dark Neutron still hasn't cleared Anna though. 1,000 points now on the battlefield, but he will end the T-72M not in a great spot there. AT plane comes in, kills 1, kills 2, and the iHawk still out of ammo. Dark Neutron not with the reinforcements here, not with the artillery play. The support play of Dark Neutron here, not what it needs to be here right now.
Yeah, Dark Neutron just brought up like 10 supplies too and didn't send a single one to the iHawk. Oh no. We'll bring up the helicopters now. Not a huge fan of this because we have not cleared all the AA out.
Yeah, there is still 3 T-72s here with capable guns. It's only one of them being a CV at this point, though. So the CV play actually might work out. Rocket finds a kill here, as the iHawk still not getting resupplied. This is a massive, massive issue. Another AT plane coming in. And at least a good smoke here, but where are the supply trucks for the iHawks? Like, there are so many supply trucks here, but none of them are next to the iHawks. The northern Leo 2A4C is out of fuel nearly as well, and it still hasn't cleared out the BRDM. And it's only 10 minutes at this point. SU-22 finds a supply truck, finds the Leon 1NL. Stingers coming in at this stage, but you don't need the Stingers, you just need to refuel your iHawks.
I know, he's just letting them die. he's letting them get plate abused, and it's not like he doesn't have the material or the mass to fix that.
He gets the T-72s off the battlefield in the middle, but it's only 9 minutes now. You still can turn it around if you get to Dimitri, and the line of Vo is worryingly thin, especially if the Mi-24s run into Gepards, or Cheetahs rather, like they do right now. One of them here most likely going to go down. Cheetah getting to finish one. Can it switch off? No, it can't switch onto the second one, but that one is pretty damaged. Has to run out of here as well. So yeah, no T-72s on the front line here anymore. So Dark Neutron, even after all of this, still in a good spot, as the early game trades did carry him to this point at this stage. F-16 just running into it. iHawks finally reloaded here, so that SU-22 is running into a Hornet's nest as well. Cheetah has set it up. If the iHawks get a hit now, it's a finishing blow.
Oh
nope,
my
not
god,
quite.
the iHawks don't hit. Well, there's the reason why he's not reloading. It's because they don't hit anything. He's like, oh, hell with it. They're not going to hit anything anyway. Why reload them? Screw it.
Yeah, the MR-10s here finally starting to try to get some kills, but it's on the cube, actually. That's not really a priority target in my eyes right now, but whatever. YPR is coming in, but still, Vo is in the zones, and that is the problem here. 8 minutes. For now, if you go for Dimitri, this is still something that you can turn around, but the MR-10's not clearing out the BRDM, not clearing out the Saperji in Anna, and the Leo's having to drive into infantry range. Like, at least it's only the Polish infantry with the RPG-7VM. That's not the most amazing RPG in the game. If it would be French, it would be way worse, but it's still not a healthy thing to do.
Whoa, right now, though, smoke cheesing into the southern point. No command around for Dark Neutron.
Yeah, too many Leo 2A4 leaders went down. No other CV here being brought in. the Leo 284 leader that he has currently brawling for Boris, but T72 MDR will get in there. Cluster plane not around here right now to strike that either. We have a lot of infantry here now being brought in, but yeah, it's not Dark Neutron's finest hour here right now.
No, not at all. 7 minutes left, getting to that 1200 point, that point zone, which I think might be the point of no return at this point for Dark Neutron. I could be very wrong here, but starting to look like not a great time for Dark Neutron on this.
BRDM still in the middle, so the Leo 284 won't capture the whole zone either. BRDM in the north still around, and Wo even was able to clean up the forest north of Anna, so the Leo 284 there is kind of stranded as well. That Leo 284C never being repaired. He has 5 supply trucks there. None of them
desperation coming out from Dark Neutron right now as well, trying to get that F-16 to find the command vehicle. Unfortunately, not going to be, well, a little bit too quick with it.
Yeah, Nantres pushing around. Leo 284 trying to hunt for all of this as well. Might get side-shotted here, though. Yes, gets side-shotted. And can't take the engagement any further there. As we have an SU-22 with rockets trying to finish off, get the finishing, and this is not a clean game here at all from Dark Neutron. Dark Neutron tapping out, and Wo somehow winning this first game after a lot of bad trades early on. Dark Neutron even with the better trades in the end, but a couple too many A-clicks into wall of T-72s and infantry there.
Yeah, and I thought the score was going to be a lot worse. I really thought Wo was down quite a bit more. But Dark Neutron just played a little too slow, kind of fell in the Wo's trap of playing fast and just getting that tick up quickly, putting the pressure on his opponent to make mistakes, which Dark Neutron did, and ends up game 1 going to Wo.
Yeah, the lack of recon there with these pushes was pretty rough. And not cleaning out the town with the MR10s. Like, the MR10s, I believe, were the most impactful misplay in this game. As MR10s on this map, they can usually get to MVP status. And here we see a single kill with them. Yeah, one of them is not even on the list, and the other one has a single kill. This is not what you want to get out of your MR10s, and it's on a supply truck that most likely was empty at this stage. Like,
yeah, that's not what you're gonna want to see if you're investing that much in artillery.
Like, the Leo 2 still did exactly what you want them to do. Like, that's why Wo was still down in the KD in the end, but his artillery did the job, his infantry did hold where they needed to hold, and the rest out of sight of the tank tab on the Dutch side, they just didn't do that much. Like, it's really all Leo 2s that did the work, and yes, they are supposed to be a workhorse, but they are not supposed to do it fully on their own in this one.
There needs to be some support there. A little bit of support would have gone a long way. Some recon, you know. It looked pretty grim there, but then Wo just brought it back, and they just didn't back down from the scary 2A4s.
So yeah, that's it. Let's see if Wo can finish it off here in the next game, or if Dark Neutron can strike back with a bit of a cleaner game number 2. And obviously, KD-wise and the first engagements were still really strong. Dark Neutron there with a strong setup. So let's see if he can find a slightly better late game in the next one, or if Wo can move on here to the semifinal to meet Stout right here. And here we come to basically a switched matchup now. Last game, the T-72 division was in Wo's hand, and the Leo 2s were in the hands of Dark Neutron. But this time around, we have East Germany's finest versus West Germany's finest, with Dark Neutron bringing around the East German 9th Panzer with the hot T-72 tanks, whilst Wo is the Leo 284 enjoyer with 5th Panzer. So yeah, counter pick Wo into the 9th Panzer, first pick of Dark Neutron here, on a map that is a lot smaller and a bit more direct than what we saw on Black Forest. And it's going to be interesting to see how that works out for the T-72 division this time around.
Yeah, Wo, if anyone remembers in their memory, Wo's ascent to rank 1 was with 5th Pans and 2nd Pans. So, giving Dark Neutron maybe not aware of that, been away from the game a little bit too long to know that, whoa, these are his bread and butter decks. So to give him 5th Pans, I can tell you this: if I was in, I'll be in Div 1 next season. Maybe I'll run into Wo. If I'm playing against Wo, I am in no there is absolutely no way I'm giving Woe fifth pants at any point in in tournament play if I'm playing against.
Yeah, Jaguars here with an opener. It's filling it coming in, so a pretty strong defensive opener there, trying to just keep T72, which often won a death ball from the first minute off you there. And yeah, we have a stack of 3 T72s here from the get go, trying to go alpha towards Papa, which is an interesting path there. And yeah, the MUVs, they finally got nerfed last patch, but they are still really beastie, even at 160 points. The frontal armor penetration combo that you get for this, it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I love Dark Neutron's open here. If he knows anything about Woe, Woe's gonna want to play hard and fast early with Fifth Panzer, and this is a perfect counter to it. But Woe hasn't purchased all of his units just yet, but this could be quite ugly for Woe if he drives his tanks into a T72 stack.
Yeah, we have a Storm for the middle as well. That's a perfect unit there as well. It beats other ATGM units. It is a purely defensive unit, the Storm S, as it doesn't have smoke and it's super slow. So you can't really move it into aggressive positions, but there are a few units that are as good on the defense as the Storm S. Whilst on the other side, yeah, both so far, not much deployment happening. Double Alouette, as per usual lately. Fernspeyers here, and yeah, the defensive units being set up for the south. Question is, where does Vo want to set his aggression? Is Vo going for X-Ray? Is Vo also going for the double point at Alpha Papa? Or is Vo just playing defensive in the south? Maybe strike Lima? Like, we have seen a lot of plays on this map. When this map first got into 1v1, because you know it from team games before, and there it was always a grind fest, because this map is pretty thin, and if you play with 2v2 on it, there's usually not much movement. But in 1v1, for being such a narrow map, it usually is surprisingly versatile in the approaches that people can bring around and make work. So I'm pretty interested to see what these two players takes us on it. Like, for me, Mount River is basically just a better two legs.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's actually a variety of play on Mountain River. We can see here we don't have any skiffic pilled individuals that are going to go for north of X-Ray and then try to walk into Lima. It doesn't look like that's going to happen right now. If you watch Skiffic's video, all he does is, you need to control this area. I think it was Aim Ducey, and Pasta La Vista. We saw just get Skiffic pilled and just fight over that. While Aim just got like a 1,500 point lead before Pasta could even do anything. So to give an idea of this is going to be more of the conventional matchup that I see on Mount River Duel, which is, fighting over for the southern side of the map. Northern side of the map is kind of forgotten about for most of the game. What I could see here, though, is Woe building a small force to push into Lima at some point, though. So here we go. We're off. Whoa, this opener. Woe's opener is a little sparse for what I would think he would want to do. I don't see any Martyr Milans on the field either, which is curious for me.
We have an F4F in the air. I guess the Martyrs, he wants to get the Jaguars because they actually can hurt the T-72s. But the Martyrs, the Milan one is not great against T-72s. It only does 1 damage, or 1.5 damage against them. So you don't quite get them killed with that. You still stun them, and then if you have enough with Leo 2s in the combo, that still might work out, but he might just want to try to get kills with ATGM vehicles, and that's where the Jaguars obviously come in. But yeah, there's no classic bread and butter units here. It's all somewhat specialist forces, with the Trillings, with the Jaguars, with the Leo 2A4C. No Leo 1s, no Martyrs, so yeah, if any of those units die, that can fall apart similar to what we saw our bottom feeders opener look like against Stardeck. So let's see if Vogue can micro his units a bit better, or if this might just be a fast push through for the T-72s here.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be trading positions here. It looks like Woe going to go for X-Ray, and then Dark Neutron probably going to Papa. I like where Dark Neutron sits with his units currently. He's got better combined arms than Woe does right now. First buys coming in, though. Gepard, another T-72, a Leo 185. Now, I'm curious, where, as we know, Woe Don't bring up 1A5 or 1A1s to Woe. No 1A1s on the field right now, which would probably Woe popularize that unit into basically everyone bringing it into being opened with, and Woe not opening with it, which is curious to me as well. Just this is not the standard opener I would expect from Woe.
Yeah, maybe respecting the T72 a bit too much there, because
Yeah.
like that matchup obviously not great for Leo 1, but you can do a lot of other works with it, killing off BMP1s, killing off BMP2s on mid-range, just getting more guns in general than you could with just buying Leo 2s, but it's heavily focused against the Jaguars. Maybe just knowing that Dark Neutron is a player who likes his tank blobs, like we saw last game. So just trying to exploit that playstyle of Dark Neutron. And I mean, we have a 3 T72 stack already, so I don't think the Jaguar investments are bad. I'm not liking the first deployment position for the one of the Jaguars here, though. That one might go down quite quickly here.
Yes, and there's a Willig also probably going to go down here as well. Jaguar does hit a shot here, though.
And smokes off in time.
Making its rotation.
Second Jaguar gets a shot on target, but doesn't quite get the hit. Storm from the north getting involved, so the Jaguars both have to smoke off. And the Leo 2A4 gets in, gets the kill there. Important kill, and yeah, Vo's opener here starting to work out after all.
I guess I need to stop doubting Woe. This guy, he's got galaxy brain compared to me. We can also see in the north as well. Woe putting on a little bit of pressure. It looks like the 1A... Oh, no, the 1A5 went to middle of the cap X-ray. But looks like Woe might be thinking about a little bit of a push to the north as well, keeping the pressure up across the map.
It's filling it finally goes down in the south. AT plane out, but there's a Roland, there is an AA plane, so yeah, Dark Neutron not going to get this through. Focusing too much on airplanes on this map is a bait. You don't want to go into too many strike aircraft. The front line is too easy to shut down with AA. The Coop at least finally hitting something in this game. It's not the same ones on control as earlier, but yeah, the T-72s don't get the breakthrough that they want, so Vo on the +2. The Leo 2s there, they're not getting gunned down yet. The Jaguar survives thanks to its 6 frontal armor, and Dark Neutron has to bring a bit more pressure here.
Yeah, so we noticed the Cube out of ammo. Dark Neutron realizing this game, hey, I need to buy a supply once my Cube is out of ammo.
Yeah, finds the kill into the Jaguar number 2. So it's the Leo 2A4 on its own now, but oh, it doesn't find a hit there. Leo 2A4 actually gets hit and misses the T-72. That's unfortunate, as obviously it is the better accuracy. SU-22 coming in here, not finding the shot on the north, but finding the shot onto the Leo 1, and the Roland and F4F not finding the kill on it. So in the end, a good trade here for Dark Neutron. Finding the Panzergrenadier Führer 2, and only losing a BMP of 1 Aufklärer towards the rocket plane. T-72 MUV gets hunted down by Leo 2A4 though, so Vo still playing that quite nicely, and the T-72 too slow to hunt down the Leo here most likely. Still trying to find one more shot, but even if that hits... Oh, what? Oh, what was that crit?
No. That was a crit, no! Not like this!
Oh, the caster curse coming in strong there. I was about to say, even if it hits, it doesn't have enough penetration, but I wasn't ready for the random crit. Just blowing up the Leo 2A4C there. It must have been storage hit or something that adds a bit of damage, and yeah, that just blows it up. Ah, I'm sorry, Vo. I didn't want to do that. The classic caster curse striking right there. So, yeah, in the end, it's a pretty even playing field now. Like, if that wouldn't have died, Vo would be in a good lead. But with that going down, he has a replacement already at least, so it's not like Dark Neutron can just push through now. But Dark Neutron still having the numbers advantage with 3 T-72 stack coming in, 2 already on the front line. So the numbers here are still somewhat threatening, but Vo has enough forces on the defense to potentially hold them off.
Yeah, we need to get Dark Neutron like a life jacket award or something. This guy floats so many points, and then all of a sudden there's a stack of tanks. I'm not sure. This is conventionally everyone's like, oh, don't float, don't float. You don't want to float. Dark Neutron's, you know, in Division 1, putting up good fights every game. You know, floating quite a bit of points. So maybe there's something to be said about floating points.
Yeah, the strategic reserves is what usual floaters call it.
Yes.
It's usually coping, but there might be something to it in the way that Dark Neutron plays it. He is only playing heavy tank divisions usually, so I don't recommend doing that in an infantry division. But in a division like this, it can work out that when you just show up with 3 minutes of income at some point where the enemy doesn't expect it. Though obviously you have to hold on before that, and yeah, this game that's not a problem. In other games it might be.
Yeah, Woe gonna just kind of sit here on the +2. Now, if you're Woe here, are you gonna just sit here and love your +2 and just live with it, or are you going to try to push the agenda somewhere else? That's the question I have for him right now, as to what the game plan is going forward here. We can see in the north the T-72 MUV just slowly working up. The Leopard 185 was spotted because it did smoke off, so very interesting to see what Dark Neutron might be cooking up to the north here. He also has superior units in center right now that whenever he decides to go, Woe's going to have to rotate from somewhere. And then my assumption here is wherever Woe rotates from or does not rotate from, that is where the push will happen.
Panzer Grenadiers getting stunned down. MUVs will push further through the south end point now. T-72 MK and MUVs coming in there. It's 4 of them already plus a leader, so 5 T-72s there, being ready to push. But on the other side, we have a Milan 2, we have a couple of Mars, 2 Leo 2A4Cs, and a Jaguar. So it will take good micro on both sides, and whoever micros this plot better will win this engagement here. It's pretty equal numbers here at this stage. F5AT trying to fish for it. The T-72 MV gets one-shotted frontally, so it needs to respect this. Coop, though, coming in hot. On this map, it's in a really strong position. No artillery on either side yet, so the AA can just chill out freely and get its shots off. But the Storm gets down to the Fernspeer, but it's interesting to see how little Voe defends this X-ray point. Like, it's all in onto the fight in the south, but Dark Neutron actually could just walk in there by now.
Yeah, I think it's the rotational gameplay that Will likes to play around, where he has these very fast tanks and things like that with good stabilizers. He can move these around as needed, whereas the T-72 is much less mobile. Going to be a little bit tougher to make those kind of plays work right now. However, with just the critical mass that Dark Neutron is developing here, it is going to be very, very difficult for Woe to continuously keep going back and forth. But we shall see. Still no 1A1's purchase for Woe. I'm a little bit curious about that. See the artillery now coming out for Woe as well. Dark Neutron, both buying artillery at the same time.
Yeah, both buying the towed howitzers as well, which is interesting. Oh no, it's actually a... I always forget that the Acacia is not called Acacia for the East Germans. Yeah, it's an Acacia firing from the rear. Interesting position that he starts firing right there from the back, but he has mod aufklärers in the front, so he gets the accurate shot anyways. If the Milan 2 falls, his tanks have a lot easier time pushing through there. 2 MUVs pushing in the infantry a bit, and yeah, the center will get taken over by the East German infantry in the killing of the Fernspeyers. So that should be an easy kill. Good move there on the Milan 2 though. That one won't die to the artillery. And with the Leo number being at least at 2 here, Woe, with the right moves, should be able to hold on here. Has the resupply trucks to get the repairs out quickly. Milan 2 pushing back the units as well. So Dark Neutron will need to get the middle here if he wants to get a take online. The southern point I still think is out of reach for now.
Yeah, that middle point though, Dark Neutron gonna just get an X-ray for free right now. Nothing to punish him there. Free 99 push right now. We can see Dark Neutron also buying a command vehicle to go to middle right, or a command tank right now to go to middle right now. Whoa, bringing up some more recon. There is a severe lack of recon. There is one Fernspeer in the middle right now, or excuse me, in the south, and that is it for Woe. Oh, there's also an Aufklärer. But right now, not a lot of vision here for Woe across the map.
The middle is completely empty since the Fernspeer died there to the mod Aufklärer on the other side. Finally, some Jäger Aufklärers will get that rectified, but they will take a while to get there, and in the meantime, the T-72s can move a bit more freely than usual. Unimog goes down in the south, the first unit in a while to die here, as both sides just setting up more and more forces. And yeah, Vo just not taking any engagements here lately. Storm might find a side shot here against one of the Martyrs. That would be pretty annoying. Yes, gets the kill
Ooh.
there. That's what I was talking about earlier. Storm, a great defensive unit there for the middle. One of them actually got gunned down earlier, but Dark Neutron finds that spot so good that he immediately replaced it. And yeah, it's paying off here right now. Gets a good kill. And Vo brings the Leo 2A4C into the northern part of the map. That's interesting. Is he setting up for the late Lima push after all? I mean, there is not much there for Dark Neutron to stop it. So that could be a annoying twist here that Dark Neutron might not be quite ready for. T-72 is in the south. Keep on running back and forth, dodging the ATGMs.
Oh, this
Get baited
A4
out.
is going to be in for a world of hurt in the south right now. Dark Neutron already seeing it, identifying it, starting to rotate his T-72s towards it.
Yeah, it moves immediately back. So Vo, they're realizing that that was maybe a bit too ambitious. And Vo getting more forces here in the center again. Doesn't want to give it X-ray up for free, obviously. As there's going to be 3 T-72s and 2 Storms versus a Leo 2A4, 2 Martyrs, and a Leo 1A5 from the north. So a pretty fair fight there, I would say. T-72S, the first of the high-quality tanks now coming in. Second one already being bought. Those with the Sphere ATGM can be really frustrating to go through as well. Long range 21 damage missile. It is one of the strongest units in the game right now.
Woe playing. Okay, T-72 in the south does go down. I was like, Woe's playing a very interesting game here. I feel like that he's very spread out right now. And I have a feeling Dark Neutron is going to exploit that by sending just a rush somewhere that's going to make it very, very difficult for Woe to continue doing what he's doing. Roland 3 does go down.
Yeah, double artillery.
You see this
piece now
leopard. This leopard is playing a dangerous game in the south right now. It's moving back and forth. It's like, oh, do I want to commit? Do I not want to commit? Ooh, I don't like the looks of this. This poor 2A4 might be getting pinballed around here very shortly.
Yeah, we go for a push in the center now. Vo doesn't want to keep that in a red situation now, as Dark Neutron gets the first points on the board. And is hunting down the T-72s now with a Leo 2A4, just going for it. The Panzer Grenadiers there nearly going down to the infantry, but the Martyr is now getting involved, most likely going to stop that, as the Mod Flare just gets melted away. But double SU-22, oh! Leo gets out of line of sight there. The Roland 3 was killed off earlier, so the SU-22 there surviving way longer than expected. F4FAT number 1 goes down on the other side. Second one, under fire by the Coops and Eaglas. Does not get hit by the Coops, so it will get out alive. And yeah, the Martyrs all died in the north now. Only the Leo 2A4 still standing. It is in a decent position, so that it can't get shot by T-72 MEVs right now, but that can also go the other way. If the T-72 MEVs get really close, 2 versus 1, they will win this fight. Get 2 shots out. M1K does survive the first hit. Leo 1, that gets down to mediocre cohesion, but Dark Neutron doesn't want to push it too hard. I thought he would commit there, but he does back out of it now. The rocket one coming in. Coop is out of ammo. Oh no, just got reloaded there in time. Doesn't get the hit though. Whilst we have artillery fire from both sides. Okay, we have the stalemate coming back here. +2 for Dark Neutron, slowly catching up. And the T-72Ss here on the battlefield. Those are amazing defensive units.
Whoa, identifying, hey, there was a Sturm there earlier. Seems like Dark Neutron really likes his position, so he's going to go ahead and smoke off that position.
Yeah,
counter battery coming in as well.
Gets the snipe on the T-72 M1K in the middle with the Leo 1A5 there. That is still alive. The leader tank just sitting in the forest there for nearly 10 minutes. Finally got active again and got the kill. And that means there is no CV here right now for Dark Neutron. So if the Leo 1A5 can get into the middle, it will at least neutralize it. Likely capture it. Whilst Dark Neutron can't use the ATGMs here nicely. Got some cheaper ATGMs onto the battlefield now as well. Gets some helicopter in there. That's a good investment in my eyes, as the Leo 2A4 attack from the north could be annoying as well. Mod of Flare is at least in a good spot to spot anything trying to come in, so the MEV doesn't have to take any fights that it doesn't want to take, but obviously outclassed there. As this is a big push here from Woe with a lot of setup. Though if the smoke cleans up in the wrong moments, those AT-Jams on the other side will do a lot of harm. 2 Martyrs already going down. Leo 2A4 is pretty low on hit points already, so I don't know how much longer it can assist this whole push. And the Panzer Grenadiers just running into 30mm grenades, running into T-72s. I'm not sure this is the way to push this point right now.
Yeah, and in the south right now, Dark Neutron sending out some fielders right now, able to find the Fern Spare. Now the T-72 is also getting engaged here. As we can see here, the rotational gameplay from Woe is backfiring on him a little bit because he did lose units. What's happening now is that Dark Neutron's like, hey, I see a lot of units in middle. I know that Woe likes to rotate these so far from what I've been seeing. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and start sending out some fielders elsewhere. And, oh, T-72 MK command does take a shot.
Yeah, has to get
But now
back.
what's happening now though? Dark Neutron, hit the tempo is in his favor right now. Whoa, on the back foot just about everywhere across the map, except maybe in the north. But we can see the T-72 MUV taking a few shots.
Yeah, Panzer Grenadiers taking a lot of damage. MUV pushing back. Leo 2A4C coming around here. Getting maybe sideshotted by the Falanga P there though. The Mi-24D falling back after getting hit by some planes. One AT plane got one of the T-72s earlier, but got shot down. And yeah, the Dark Neutron pressure in the south here is pretty big now. Hasn't gotten any T-72s close enough to kill the Martyrs though, so his infantry got reduced. But he gets the Leo 2A4C in the north. The T-72 MEV, I think, getting a side shot there. Yeah, I don't know what exactly the movement there was, but it gets side shot. I think the mod outflarer, got an RPG into the Leo. That made the Leo 2 panic, and then the MEV got the side shot there. A frustrating loss, but it was also just playing with fire there. And good punishment there from Dark Neutron. That means the northern flank is in no real danger now, and Dark Neutron can fully focus on the south.
Yeah, Woe is playing with fire right now. This southern point is on the brink of collapse here at any point. If Dark Neutron is able to find a few picks here and able to just drive right in, all of his infantry is Woe's infantry is very injured. This Jaguar too is in that's a bold position, brother Woe. Like that is, it's probably spotted. These T-72s are gonna have a field day with this poor Jaguar.
Ooh, Mehrzweckwaffe coming in, F4F's coming in, but there is a lot of AA out there. At least Mehrzweckwaffe going down. It was an okay trade. It got some Mutchison and 2 helicopters. So, in the end, it's okay, but the Jaguars go down. Yeah, this is not hot. Martyr goes down 1 shot. Leo 2 is not in position. And the T-72s are doing T-72 things. Oh, Mutchison! Oh, no! Routed! It can't even smoke off now. Fagot coming in from the north. Mutchison getting the second shot. This is disaster. This is an absolute disaster. What is Woe able to do now? Like, what is he? He has 1 Milan 2, he has 1 PO 105, and that's basically it here in the south.
Yeah, 20 minutes left in the game. Woe losing, still has a lead here. So, kind of what you're hoping here is to build a little bit, I believe, and then hoping that Dark Neutron makes some mistakes here. You're trying to capitalize on Dark Neutron getting a little too aggressive somewhere, maybe. The problem is, even with too much aggression right now, there is not a whole lot that's going to punish Dark Neutron right now.
Yeah, and Dark Neutron decides to just run. Look at the spawn again. The floating times were back, and we have 8 new units floating in. Like, the front line, it already doesn't look great for Woe, but realizing that it was another 3 minutes, 4 minutes where Dark Neutron just focused on the front line, didn't buy anything, and now has a massive reinforcement wave. Whilst on the other side, there's an artillery piece in the Milan 2 coming in. This is going to be punishing once this wave arrives on the front line here.
Yeah, and we can see where all of that is going. It's all going to middle. That's going to lock down middle potentially the rest of the game, and then Woe is going to be in a world of hurt everywhere. Woe getting desperate here, trying to shoot down a helicopter. F4 does go down. This scoreline is going to be ugly right now. If the game ends right now, the scoreline is brutal, and it may only get worse here for Woe.
Yeah. Even if you push Lima, you wouldn't get a take here right now, so that is not an option either. He needs to find X-Ray or a big push towards Bravo, but both against a division that can get cost-efficient tanks the whole game is hard to achieve. Gets a couple of kills here with artillery, but it's not like Dark Neutron is idle. This time around, artillery play from Dark Neutron way better, getting some roll-ons and so on. Like, you would expect MR10s usually to have the better KD, but these 152mm way better than the MR10s last game.
Yeah, and looks like just cleaning out, just slowly attritioning away Woe's units. Again, Dark Neutron doesn't have to do anything if he doesn't want to. He could sit here, click this +2 tick until the end of Kingdom Come, and he's going to win the game before time runs out. It's just up to him of, if he may fall for the trap of getting too complacent. But right now, complacency is probably in his favor because Woe just doesn't have enough on the field right now to really do anything. It's just it's a very precarious. Woe's whole army is on the knife's edge right now. That's the only way to explain it. Like, it does not look hot for Woe.
Yeah, and he only has 2 Leo 2s on the battlefield right now. So you are not quite like, if you have 2 or it's not quite where you one-shot the T-72s, and that's where the breaking point that you want to achieve, that like a salvo of Leo 2 shots just kills the T-72 outright. Without that, you can't push with the Leo 2s here. And if you can't push, you aren't going to win this game now at this stage. So more Leo 2s will be needed, but until they all arrive, another one finally being bought now, there's little that Woe can do, and that means that the take rate will get Dark Neutron into the lead here, and Dark Neutron can just play on with the artillery, gets another Martyr in the south, so Papa is in danger here now as well. There is not much here for Woe that can deal with tanks down there, whilst there are 4 T-72s ready for Dark Neutron to get onto this point.
Yeah, Woe's gonna have to rotate the 2 leopards he has in the middle to shut down anything here and just hold on for dear life. Could see here too, the 1A5 is gonna be spotted here very shortly, the command that's in center, and it's gonna be problematic if Woe does lose that. He may be holding on for that. That, hey, I'm gonna be able to sneak this command in. If I win in the south, maybe I can sneak it in the middle. I don't think Woe is aware of all. Well, he should be aware of all the units that are sitting here idly for Dark Neutron, but oh no. Another Martyr Milan going down in the south to the T-72 MUV, not looking so hot. Again, this is brutal.
Yeah, the Panzer Grenadier is just trying to cross the open there now, but a T-72 MEV with the MG next to the 125mm gun, they just have too much HE for that to work. So the Martyr is now trying to get involved, but that is not the engagement you want to take. Second Martyr goes down, and the T-72 MEV can just disengage. It has a URL right behind it. It gets out of range of the Martyr now, so that it can just gun down the Panzer Grenadiers. Leo 2A3 finally tries to come around, but there are 3 more T-72s where this one came from, and so if the Leo 2 tries to go too deep, it just will get punished there into the close range fights. So yeah, Woe needs.
I love this play from Dark Neutron right now. He's just trying to bait basically Woe to bring his tanks over to the south more, and then he's just gonna pop out from the smoke, kill everything. I love that. That's a great play. And I'm sure and for the way Woe is playing this, he is well aware of this, but he needs to gamble at some point and try to make something happen. Like, here we go. The T-72 out. T-72's popping out from the smoke here. Gonna take down a few units here. Oh no.
Leo 2 moving away. 3 Martyrs trying to come around. One issue of the German 5th Panzer is that they don't have any good AT weapons on the infantry. The best they get is some Carl Gustavs, and most of them come with the Panzerfaust 44, and that just can't do it against T-72s. So even if you get the Panzer Grenadiers close there, you can't punish them, whilst the RPGs on the other side are a lot more threatening. As we saw earlier, one of the Leos going down to it. So the Leos are the ones that have to do the damage here. They get a T-72 MEK here. So this engagement not going the way Dark Neutron wants to. The Mars coming in here.
Mars.
Oh,
yes.
That's a good position. Gets another T-72. Can the Mars find
just traded like a madman. Holy shit.
Is this actually the one that Woe needed? The T-72 MBV here running into Panzer Grenadiers? Only 2 T-72 standing here now. Woe is behind on tick now, so he needs to get more than this 1 point in the south. He will need to get towards Bravo or X-Ray eventually, but those trades here were what was needed to at least give him a shot at this.
Those were incredible trades. That's like a 600, 700 point swing, I believe, right now. That's very much in Woe's favor. Woe now, okay, we're gonna go back, heal these leopards, try to do it all over again. That's the idea here. We just keep doing the same thing over and over again to get us back into the game, and eventually, hopefully, we get to such a lead with Woe's units that he's gonna be able to come back here
Oh
and take
no.
over a lot more.
Though when you zoom out, you just realize how far Dark Newton was ahead. Oh
Yeah,
no.
it still looks bad.
It's another 6672s being bought.
Oh
Plus
Lord.
5 helicopters. There are 2 Rolands, or one Roland and two Rolands and a Gepard on the map that can deal with the helicopters, but that means you just can never over push with your infantry. You have to keep those Rolands around, and this is going to be a problem. And yeah, now leader T-72 coming for the south, so Vo just deals with 4 T-72s and had to invest a lot into that to get that done. And now there's 6 coming in. So he has to do it all over again and better. He at least gets a 4th Leo 2 on the battlefield, but at the same time, his repairing Leos got annoyed there by artillery a bit. So his repair process might take a bit longer. But yeah, he needs to come in with even more force next time.
This is a very curious game right now from Dark Neutron. It raises the question. If instead of buying all of these T-72s right now, if he would have piecemeal brought these up, maybe he would have had 6 up front instead of 4. Does that fight go completely different?
Yeah, but he usually invests that time that he doesn't invest into buying, obviously into extra micro. Though that micro in the last fight might not have been the best either, but that's obviously the trade-off here. And yeah, this wave of T-72s here now on the front line, it's going to be scary.
Yeah, this might be, we might have a graveyard of Leos here very soon.
Because Vo will have to push deep next. So he has to take the risks now. And those are 2 vet T-72s. Like, they have good accuracy. They are at 65%.
Yeah, these are not tanks that are here to mess around. These tanks are here to win the game for Dark Neutron. Now, if Dark Neutron does end up winning this engagement, I think it's just GG. Like, Woe has to somehow outplay this. And we can see here the leopard. What are those leopards doing? Those leopards are gonna die to something probably here. Those leopards to the in center. I don't know what's going on there, but such is life. But here we go. The big push coming in. The fight of fights right now. You can see also Woe creeping the Panzergrens around into the zone right now. We'll see what we're able to get out of this.
There's
Sturm's going to.
The Leo just gets out of there before they can hit. It's 9 T-72s versus 4 Leo 2A4s and 2 Leo 1A5s. Plus the Storms, plus the Fagots. So the number game here is still in favor of Dark Neutron. But there is the critical point now of the 3 Leo 2A3s that can shoot down a T-72 quickly. The critical mass... 2A4 there.
2A4. Took a side shot. Panzergrens need to find something here to help out. Call these tanks a little bit.
But there's all the helicopters. 1 T-72 at least is pretty inefficient now, but there's no repair on the Leo 2A4 right now. The next Leo 2A3 got pretty heavily stressed out. So that's not going to work out. F4F not... Oh, it gets the kill there!
That gets it, yeah.
Okay, that's important. But the Leo 1A5 is pushing in alone, being the front line right now. That's not the unit that you want to lead the push with. The Panzer leader gets in, will at least stop the tick here, but Vo needs more than that. Leo 1A5s both go down, so it's down to the Leo 2A3s. The Panzer Grenadiers and Pioneers in the south, they at least do a decent job, but now the MA2s going around, and the Roland can't even shoot them all down. The reload time between shots too long, so the MI2 Yearns here just potentially cleaning house of this infantry.
Yeah, this is a precarious situation. I don't think Woe is aware of all the T-72s too. They're about to pop out as soon as these are sighted. Oh my god, the BP1 SP SP2 stack also about to come in here. Oh no. I mean, these tanks are able, they are singling off a lot of units, able to find kills right now.
Yeah, but he has to go to Bravo.
He has to go, yeah.
And that's That's the big question. Like, how do you break the T-72s? The T-72s haven't fallen. Like, none have died in this engagement. There's a couple of damage, but there is enough repair here around. So, killing off BMP2s is not enough. The Leo 185s died on the other side as well, and yeah, you can chew away here on some infantry units in the front line, but how do you kill the T-72s actually? And that's, I guess, the only way to do that maybe is another amazing Mars volley.
Roland 3 does go down. Yeah, he's got to find the T-72s with the Marses right now. We also see just a little bit north of the blob. There's also the T-72 MUV and S stack right there as well. Dark Neutron has two Cubs sitting on top of each other, which I find hilarious. But and Whoa, he's got to cancel that volley. Where's he going with it now? Oh, he's only going for a Cube and one T-72S that are being healed right now with the Mars. That is not going to be enough. I don't think Woe is aware of what is sitting very precariously right behind that zone that is just waiting for that Leopard Butt.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a perfect target right now in the south, but obviously that would be a risky shot, just sending it into the dark. If he could hit the T-72s where they are right now, they are in the forest, so a first shot slowing them down would mean that the rest of the shots would land on them as well. But yeah, he's going for the one that he actually knows about. And he might get the T-72S there. Yes, he does get that. So that's not terrible, but I don't believe that will be enough to get him to Bravo here. He has 600 minutes. The pivoting into the center, though, that could still work. He has a Leo 2 and a Leo 185 there still for the capture. And he is not that far behind. If he could get to a +4 at this point, that still would be enough.
T-72S does take a side shot. And now, oh, there is the napalm out from Dark Neutron here as well. Patiently waiting, stalking, and just waiting for something to happen here.
BMP1
yeah, this
plop arriving
this middle push
now.
will be interesting. Yeah, this middle push will be interesting here. I have a feeling, yep, Dark Neutron seeing these tanks out in the open. Here comes the big rotation. He's fast moving. He does not give a shit what goes on here. But here we see the big push here coming in from Woe. This is kind of his last-ditch effort. 6 minutes left in the game. Not a ton of time here to make anything happen.
He gets a good couple of kills in the middle. He lost his tank Leo 185 leader in the north, though. MEV dodging the Mars shot. Mars has to reposition its shot there. And we have the T-72 numbers coming in from the south. The Leos got split up, one pushing forward, the other one's disengaging, so that Leo 283 most likely a sacrificial lamp here, whilst the rest has to get the job done in the middle in the meantime, whilst the T-72s are still busy. Gets a side shot into one of them, but there are still so many. The BMP-1s coming in with all their annoying little ATGMs that won't just outright kill you, but they will make you inefficient. And there comes the Su-22 plop as well, just trying to get something killed. Leo 185 goes down. Leo 283 in the south goes down, and the T-72 number isn't getting smaller. Oh no!
Does not have time right now.
Another one goes down, and Woe needs to commit here now, as all these other tanks come to hunt him down. He can catch this point. There is no CV in the middle. I don't know why his Leo 283 is not fast moving in there. He is still attack moving with all of those Leo's leaders. He hasn't captured the point yet.
I'm sure he is worried about mod shoots and chilling out of there. Now that he has the bow pod going over the top of it, yep, he's going to react there and move it in.
Ooh, Leo 185 needs to get in there right now. Leo 283 is taking some side shots here. The tank engagement is not going in Woe's favor.
MW1! Oh my.
Yeah,
I think it's just a little...
Gets a lot of mod shoots.
Dark Neutron just trades zones here.
Yeah, gets in there in the south. Panzer Grenadier there, not good enough. And the Leo 2's number here is getting worryingly low. But we still have 5, 6 T-72s going on. BMP-1s helping out. It's only 3 Leos here. The T-72s from the rear still firing some important shots, getting some Jaegers killed. And it's a +3 here right now. But it might go down to a +2 in a second, as the CVs of Woe are down in the south. And it's only 4 minutes here for 500 points to take around. Iltis Führungs coming in as fast as possible. Woe is still having enough alive that it might work out after all. But +2 tick, it's not quite enough. It's only 80 points per minute. He still needs to get it back into some point. Maybe rotate north. He doesn't have an Iltis Führungs for that though. Losing the Panzer Grenadier leader there in the south really hurt.
Yeah, there's just not a whole lot here that Woe Woe's looking in a really rough spot right now. He's using Gephards right now, the fire support, or he's going to be using here shortly as fire support because there is nothing on the ground right now for Woe to come back from this game. And we can see that T-72, he's getting in there for free. He's just going to, he's just going to drive in for free. Dark Neutron going to napalm off any entrance that Woe is going to have to be able to get any sort of command vehicle in there. And it is an absolute beatdown right now for Woe. That push was great until he lost everything, as all pushes go. T-72 takes out 283 command, and I believe this is what you call a GG.
Yeah, CV SPW just tries to buy a bit more time in the middle. The Leo 283 realizing that there is no infantry here right now, but the SPW actually right there when the smoke is there. So actually able to contest it there for a couple of seconds. Just running away from the Leo in the smoke and making it even a +2 for Dark Neutron here for a bit longer. And with only 2 minutes, there is not enough time in this game for Woe to get anywhere. The smoke, the napalm just fired the whole salvo there in the south, making sure that nothing can drive into that zone right now. And yeah, Dark Neutron here grinding his way to victory with the T-72s. Obviously, Woe's game was a bit derailed by that crit in the early game. That was really unfortunate that Leo 2A4 died like that. But afterwards, Dark Neutron just playing the better game in the middle. That Woe gave that up basically for free. The Milan 2 not in the high-rise building like it is right now to help out there. Allowed Dark Neutron to get just away with too many points at this stage.
With a minute and a half here, +1 tick, yeah, Woe's got to go crazy mode on it, and that's just not going to happen today. I mean, a great game, though. A lot of action. You know, Mount River, so glad it's back in the poll. This is a very fun map.
Yeah, so many tank fights here. Just really, this is what people play WARNO for. These tank engagements, both sides, with a full lineup, 5 tanks versus 5 tanks, just going blow for blow, blowing up units everywhere. Air forces trying to get some pickups. And
oh, you hit the 272 with the F4. It's not going to be enough. That's pretty funny.
MiG-23ML getting pushed back. Yeah, well, ending it on a +2 at least, but it's just a bit too late. Dark Neutron really not going in, not shying away from taking fights in this one. Like, resource-wise, in the end, I believe Woe might even have equalized in the scoring again, as in the end the T-72 numbers have been whittled down decently, but yeah, it's just too many points here in the end. Dark Neutron with 300-point lead here in the last couple of seconds, and it will be a decider game. So that's going to be exciting after 2 really hard-fought games already.
Yeah, I love the optimism of Woe here. He's just sending the illest in. He just does not care. He might not even realize how much time was left in the game, but the optimism, we have to respect it. Yeah, this is, you know, I thought this was actually scoreline was gonna be a lot worse than what it is. It's surprisingly not as bad.
Yeah, the last minutes, Woe actually didn't trade as terrible, but he was too far behind there. Like, when he took that good fight on the south, and then I just zoomed out and saw the 60-72s, that was the moment I realized it doesn't matter. It's kind of over here, and yeah, he made it as close as possible there in the last couple of minutes, but the early game just was a bit too in favor of Dark Neutron. Jaguar is a bit out of position being caught, the middle being too easy to take for Dark Neutron, and the loss of the Leo 2A4 in the north as well. Like, those were a couple of missteps that you just can't allow in a matchup like this.
Yeah. Well, on to game 3. This will be interesting to see who's going to come out victorious here and move.
Yeah. So let's go into a quick break, guys, and then we're going to be back with the final game of the day. The decider game between Dark Neutron and Vosme. Who will make it to the semifinal? Don't you run away, guys, because this is going to be an absolute amazing game as well. So the map to finish it all off, guys, is going to be the reworked chemicals, and I'm all for it here, as Woe and Dark Neutron are bringing it around again, and Dark Neutron coming in with the 9th Panzer once more. It's never change a winning team, and on the other side, Woe bringing in the first UK, so good bit of a different matchup here. More equal tanks fighting off, but way better IFVs here on the side of WoW this time around with the oblique. And before we jump into this, guys, quick shout out to the Matcherino page where we get the prize pool for all of this going. Already at $300, but let's see if we can push it further. And obviously, guys, don't you forget to follow over at Jeremy's channel either. And get the follow there so that you don't miss his amazing streams of WARNO there. And yeah, let's get into the action here. The MI2 Yearns coming along here as a big opener. What do you think about the map, and what do you usually open with when you are in the position of these players here?
This is a very curious matchup. I like what Woe's doing over here with the Gazelle Rockets and the Gazelle, just shutting down Alpha. We've seen a lot of the high-level players like to rush Alpha now. So making sure that Dark Neutron's not going to do that is probably very important for him to make sure, because it is such a pain in the neck to get Alpha back if you do lose it as Blue right now. Currently with Dark Neutron, what I would consider a pretty standard deploy. This map, in my opinion, is very one-sided. Dark Neutron is on the good side of the map right now, where it's going to be much, much easier for him. He gets in the hotel almost basically for free, which is going to make it a lot more difficult for Woe to start developing a point tick lead here. I have also never seen Woe play First Armored, so that also has me questioning a few things, but we can also see that Woe is going to be pushing over into Delta right now. This could be a very quick match if he's able to get a foothold in the Delta, but it could also be a very, very slow match if he loses that out, and we're just going to be brain bashing each other over Echo and Foxtrot for the whole game.
Yeah, and on the other side, the helicopter play here out of Dark Neutron is also pretty standard, so he wants to shut that any rushes into the north down with MI2 Yearns. Interested to see if any of the two players will bring a fighter to try to get something like this punished in the early game, as that's a pretty classic opener here on this map as well. But obviously, as the map is so wide with the corner-to-corner split, and you have to cover so many points, investing into fighters also means that you are lower on the ground, so there's a lot of risks that you have to take on these maps, and a lot of positions where you can get punished. So really excited to see how this plays. We haven't seen it much in this season yet, because it's just a map that can go wrong so badly that people usually try to avoid it.
Yeah, it's very easy to go sideways on this map. I did play Dark Neutron on this a couple weeks ago. He was playing 119th. His strategy was to tank build in the middle and then eventually just push out Hotel and Golf. I'm curious if that is exactly what he's going to go for here. Just defend the side lanes. Hey, I'm going to get Delta really quick, but I am laser focused on getting into Hotel and Golf. And we do see the tornado coming out for Woe. Very expensive purchase here to shoot down some helicopters. Gonna need to get a lot of kills here in order to get your value back on this. Dark Neutron also starting with the MiG-23 ML, which I thought was much more realistic for him to start with a plane than Woe. But here we go.
Yeah, rockets coming around to the south. Givitar moving in there to scout with Law 80s moving up towards the north. Gazelle rockets moving up to the northern point now and to the southern points. Two big blobs there. Taking the fight with the Tornado, not a good idea. I thought he would try to bait it over the Strela. Tornado wins that fight and still has two Sidewinders left now to deal with the MI2s, so Dark Neutron there in a bit of trouble as the rocket Gazelle's still coming in. Tornado not able to finish off the Me2s though, so those still keep on going. Gazelle just driving the whole way through in the center, right on top of the Strela 10. Coop being bought there now, as the Strela 10 misses two times against the Gazelle rocket. Gazelle Recon finally finding it. MI2's actually good against the Gazelle rockets, as they don't have a gun, whilst the MI2 does, so can actually shoot them down. And the next MiG-23 and the Jaguar, both sides, Tornado goes down there. So yeah, it's going pound for pound here now. The Gazelle rockets running out of ammo. MiG-23 trying to fight the Jaguar. Both sides pretty low on missiles there by the meantime, and a Coop coming in, Strela 10 getting involved, getting a hit there. Can the MiG-23 find the Jaguar now on the way out? It desperately tries to. Strela doesn't find the second mid, and the MiG-23 is most likely slow, so it's targeting the Gazelles now instead. Should be able to get some damage there, but Vo at least gets into the town.
And here we see Woe's going to possibly lose a rifles in the bed. It does go down, losing one to the urn. One thing to note here, Woe, no AA on the field current. Gonna be relying heavily on fires, and as I say that, he buys a tractor rapier. But we're looking here, this scout probably not long for this world. This F word launcher is also gonna come up here, probably take out the scimitar pretty quickly. And the seed coming out. Okay.
Yeah, there is a coop that isn't turned off yet. So the seed missile actually flies, doesn't get the kill.
Oh, misses.
But yeah, this coop should get turned off now. Whilst the Gazelle rocket and the Gazelle line here now holds off at Alpha. So Alpha most likely won't get caught off here. Mod Aufklärer slowly pushing the scout laws back in the north. And yeah, we have the big investment into double challenger in the middle for Woe. So that is going to be interesting. MI2 pushing around. We have a T-72 MK on the other side, but challengers, the heavier tanks, 2 versus 1, should win out there against the double T-72 opener on the other side. And the reinforcements here on both sides, not all that impressive so far, as they both invested a lot into planes.
Yeah, this is going to be a slow game. Woe is going to be microing 2 tanks here, basically, to clear out what he can. See here some scimitars, some more rifles coming in for Woe. Dark Neutron bringing up a Sturm and a Machutsen and another T-72 Mov. Big surprise there from Dark Neutron. One thing to note here, too, I wonder if Dark Neutron is worried at all about things getting into his backline right now because that Mont Clara was killed in the south that was outside of Alpha, that he may be a little scared and may overinvest a tad bit over here. Probably not. He's just sending the MI2 over there and the Strela. So probably not going to overinvest a ton down there and make a mistake. And we can see here the Charlie 2 is just kind of, peppering these Mont Aufkläras and the Machutsen. Woe going to start bringing up Pleeks as well.
Yeah, Woe fully focused on the island by now. But Dark Neutron still investing into the northern point, into a bit into the south with the Strela recon combo. MiG-23s picking off the last Gazelle rocket there. Should not die to the retractor up here, but might get hit there. Yeah, it gets one hit in, so it will be out for a while. SU-22AT is scary though. If that can find one of these challengers, they will have a lot of damage on them, and then the T-72s might go for the finishing blow. Though with the low 80s, both sides have to be really careful where they push their tanks into, as they could get killed off by the RPGs and the low 80s quite quickly. Rifles there,
Yeah,
leaving the building a bit late. Might actually die. Oh, down to 1 hit point. This is leading it nicely for the Machutsen, which should win the infantry fight there now.
Yeah, that Machutsen should just be able to clean up the scouts and the rifles right now. One thing to note too, Woe is finally getting his cap up. He's going to be going down in points right now a little bit. For anyone who's not aware of this map, it is very easy to get your points back on this map very quickly. It's kind of hilarious how fast you can be at a 1,500 point deficit, and next thing you know, you've won the game on points. It just happens on this map.
Yeah, we have the T-72s here now pushing in. Challenger got stressed out by the Machutsen hitting it with an RPG, but both the rifle and the scout are still alive for now. The rifle goes down though before it can get the low 80 shot out. Mod Aufklärer is there pushing forward. MI2 flying through the south gets killed off by the scimitars, as Woe is taking a bit more control in front of Alpha. Finally gets the capture there. 600 points down, but yeah, as you said, not that impactful on this map. It has a lot more potential for ticks, for fast ticks than other maps. And yeah, Dark Neutron here sending more T-72s to the center, but the Woe still can reinforce into the center. That's the key part. The reinforcement routes are still open, so he can absolutely still bring the fight back to Dark Neutron, and Dark Neutron has to be careful to not run out of infantry in front of his T-72s, as there are no supply trucks there to get his... Although there is actually a Ural. Yeah, that needs to get close to these infantry units, because it's only 2 infantry units for him in front of all those armored units.
Yes, Dark Neutron. I'm gonna guess Dark Neutron not much of an infantry deck player. I mean, obviously I haven't known him that long, but seemingly he wants to just abuse the tank push here. Oh my goodness, a lot of planes out for Woe right now, but we now know where all of his points have been invested. with some obliques as well as some rifles coming up for him as well. But it looks like the investment is going to be on some air spam here for good old Woe Is Me.
Cluster Tornado coming in. This could be really punishing. Coming in for the T-72 blob in the middle. It has a good knowledge where it's going. It's 3 of them on top of each other. Only 1 of them is moving right now. That might be a double kill.
Oh,
they all survived, but they have to run immediately now. Smoking off now. One still goes down to the ATGM, even with the smoke popping just slightly before it, but Woe can't push through here now. There's basically nothing stopping this. The Strela also being moving into the water there, just gets picked off. Coop is out of missiles, so it can't punish anything here. And new T-72s are on the way, but the AA is not in a good spot. New supply trucks are needed to get these hurt tanks back up, and in the meantime, the Warriors and Challengers plus the strong rifles can just go through here.
Yeah, it's a massive swing in tempo right here. Exactly what you want to see if you're Woe Is Me. You're going to see Knife Pan just on the back foot here. You've got all... Now the game is on. You get to engage on your terms. It's very, very nice.
Second cluster comes around. The T-72 that is on already damaged, so it most likely is just going to die here. Going down to 1 hit point. Barely surviving. Tornado hunting the MiG-23 AA in the rear here. As the second Tornado comes around. Seed plane there, plus AA. Not quite getting the missile on target. The Sky Flashes are decent, but not the best long-range missiles. As the T-72s here, they get repaired back up a bit, but the supply truck will run out before they can get them all back up. More Urals are arriving. The issue is the lack of infantry right now. Dark Neutron has not a single infantry unit in the area of Echo. Only 2 mod aufklärers south of the hotel point. And if the armored rifles just push through good line of sights, they can just walk straight through all these silos.
And now look at Woe. He's starting to dedicate a few units up north as well. Based off this air spam and how these tanks are being played, this is very reminiscent of how Ford plays First Armored. If you've seen him play anytime recently, this is very, very reminiscent of him. Very heavy tank rotations, a lot of air spam, things like that. Basically keep pushing his opponent back until there's no more point that he can resupply anymore because the supply point is cut off. So I'm very curious to see kind of what the plan is here for Woe.
Yeah, we have 5 T-72s here still in the middle, so there is still a lot of potential for damage here for Dark Neutron, but the lack of support units here is worrying. SU-22AT gets the Warrior Oblique in the north, so I don't think Woe is crushing this point anytime soon, but the center point here...
Oh, the rifles!
Yeah, this is what I was worried about. You just can't move these T-72s into any position without infantry support scouting for you. This is not the Polish that you're fighting against here at this stage. This time around, it's actually good AT weapons with the lower 80s. You can't move tanks like this here.
And there's a severe lack of recon right now out on the field for Dark Neutron. And no recon being bought either. That this is a tough spot. I mean, both players don't really have a ton of recon out. I see an MI2 and a mod aufklärer that aren't going to see anything really right now, and SAS patrol from Woe. So a lot of recon missing here. And right now, I think that favors Woe solely because he can just brain bash with Charlie 2s and Appliques, and I feel like that's going to probably be enough to kill some of these T-72s and eventually swing the momentum. Right now, the tempo has kind of evened itself out a little bit here, where Woe, there's just a lot of healing going on. Woe building a stack. You know, he has 2 Charlie 2s. He's got 2 Appliques. I don't know about this push from Woe right now, though. Woe trying to get in this northern point seems to be a waste of points, in my opinion. But we'll see. Maybe he's a much better player than I am, so maybe he knows something I don't know about on how to approach this zone. So we shall see.
Yeah, the northern push of Woe, the first attempt, was a bit too obvious, and that got punished. That, I think, if he would have set that up a bit better, the momentum could still be in his favor. But now, yeah, as you said, it evened out. Obviously, the next big air wave here is something that Dark Neutron has to be ready for, but by now they're are enough AA pieces here on the battlefield that I'm not too worried about it. But the T-72s, first and foremost, need more infantry before they can do anything again. That's what keeps Dark Newton from moving anywhere right now. Though the Mod numbers going up. And yeah, it seems like we're just setting up for a massive, massive engagement here at the Hotel Echo frontline.
I'm curious to see if they'll be fighting amongst the silos. This will be a really good test of both players' tank micro, popping in and out of the silos here, getting a sight line, taking your shot, backing away, reloading, and pushing back in. It's going to end up being, I think, looking like a very fun game here. It's going to really show off the skills of both of these players.
Yeah, MiG-23 is still poking around, maybe even baiting some enemy fighters here, but I don't believe Vo is going to fall for that. Whilst T-72 Sprinter is still going Brit, there are no BMP-2s on the front line, which I'm a bit surprised by. BMP-2s in this matchup are not all that bad, but it's pure T-72s here for Dark Newton. I mean, it worked out last game, so why change that system, right?
Right. It's, you can see Dark Neutron trying to get some air up here, trying to get those optics out just to see if he's able to see it when this next plane span may come through. Well, here the Machutsu are slowly walking up, but whoa, also bringing up some mortars. I imagine he's going to smoke off some angles here, and an M109A2 as well coming up. Milan 1, oh, it's a shooting at a transport. Okay, no big deal. The Machutsu caught out in the parking lot right now. Might have a backing up the rifles here. Interesting.
Yeah, the Mochitsu on their own can't achieve much, though.
Yeah.
We don't have any artillery on the side of Dark Newton yet, so I'm not quite sure how Dark Newton wants to take this engagement. Milan 1 there, nearly getting killed off, but the rockets ran out before it can be fully finished.
Sneaking this SAS patrol around, I think, is actually a really, really good thing for him right now. It's going to be able to open up some artillery practice for him. Yep. Immediately sees the Machutsu, pings it. M109 immediately going for it. Dark Neutron, knowing the wiser, though, moves that out.
Yeah, and Dark Neutron has to be careful here, as he knows that the enemy still has the double cluster around. So you can't just take the engagements against the double cluster bomber on the other side.
Absolutely not. And the other thing, too, is he has to assume that Woe has some tanks up. So when that cluster does come in, it's going to get followed up very, very quickly. Well, as fast as challengers can go, it will be followed up quickly.
I guess that's also why he clumps up like this, because he needs to be close to his AA umbrella, but obviously that also makes it all the juicier if a cluster bomber can get through. So it's a really dangerous game at this stage for Dark Newton. He is ahead 660 points, which could become relevant. It's not Black Force 660 points, but it is a decent lead nonetheless. Loses an SU-22 there. Annoying, but not the end of the world, and finally get some artillery out here as well. As both sides now with the classic 150-ish artillery pieces, 155 versus 152 millimeters on the battlefield, and here's a movement. Here's a movement from Woe. That's a lot of attack orders, and here comes the planes. Seed plus double cluster tornado.
Woe getting up 2 artillery pieces here as well. He's just... Oh my goodness. That Machutsu has seen better days and it is now gone. Oh, and here we see the T-72s are now making their appearance on the field.
Cluster coming in.
2 clusters.
That's going to be a double kill at least. Might kill all 3 there. Yeah, gets a double kill there. And the cluster planes, only one going down. Second one survives. MiG-23 goes down. Tornado AA went down, but Seed plane coming in now gets 1 coup. And I don't believe it's going to die here. So that already a good engagement there. And now the challengers and warriors running into a Machutsu there a bit too much. So one of the challengers is actually pretty low, but the rest in front of it should be able to keep them alive against the MEV. One of the MEVs is pushing it pretty hard.
the Charlie Mark II does get bailed out here.
Ooh, that's pretty bad. Seaplane coming in, going pretty deep here this time around. Might actually eat a Strela on the way out. Barely survives. T-72 MEV number 2 gets good damage on the Charlie 3, but doesn't quite find the kill. But yeah, that Charlie with the bailout is going to go down most likely. BMP2 hitting the Warrior. Warrior about to go down.
Oh.
MEV shooting the rifles that are just running over the open here. But the Charlie is still alive. Rifles get deep enough to push up damage with their low 80s. So Vo might be able to save this tank. It's getting repaired already.
Yeah.
Good reaction there. And there are just not enough T-72s here that are still healthy to actually push through to it. Charlie is back in action. Really good save there by Vo.
Yeah, just bringing it up just in time. We can also see to the south now as well. Whoa, starting to poke and prod down here on these Mont of Claras. Looking like that Dark Neutron doesn't have a lot to respond down there. Most of his units are clumped up north right now. Oh, these Apleeks are gonna mince this poor Mont of Clara. We can see here, whoa, much quicker on the supplies. Now, if we look at where Dark Neutron is sitting with the supplies, he's there. It's coming up right now. So if Whoa presses the gas right now and says, "Hey, we're going, boys. Let's win this game." You know, it's going to be a lot harder for Dark Neutron to hold some ground here. I mean, right now he's just rotating all of his supply in that he possibly can, which is probably the right play. But it might not be fast enough if Woe decides to press on the gas here.
Yeah, gets good damage on some rifles there. The supply of Dark Neutron got eaten up by the Coop missiles there, so he had a bit less than he maybe planned for at the beginning of the engagement. But his Mod of Claire is still getting pushed in pretty deep in the south, and he doesn't have anything there to save them. A couple more Watchitson coming in. He has a Storm there, but that only gets involved if the enemy pushes really deep. Whilst yeah, his T-70 MEVs here still waiting on the right reinforcements. SU-22 AT lurking in, trying to get another Challenger hit, but it's 3 Challengers by now on the front line. A 4th coming in, a 5th coming in behind that. So 5 Challengers, that's going to be hard to push through, as they have 18 frontal armor, and the Mark III even has an 11th extra hit point there.
Yeah, and right now, I did not realize this, but okay, Dark Neutron is rotating a CV from across the map right now. He did not have a command there for a while. But Whoa, getting a little bit of a tick here, just chipping away at this lead. You know, it doesn't have to all come at one time. You know, if Whoa wants to play the slow game here, which looks like, you know, with 20 minutes left and kind of based off the purchases I'm seeing, looks like Whoa is going to go for one sweeping push here at some point. A lot of Charlie 3s on the field. Kind of curious not seeing any Chieftain Mark 9s up here. Big fan of the unit. It's pretty good. It's cheap for what it is, but it seems like that Whoa has opted just to bash Charlies into this and, you know, keep them alive.
Yeah, 3 more MEVs coming in with the classic Dark Neutron all at one moment. 2 minutes of income there spent into them. SPW about to move in there to get the zone back. The 152mm artillery doing a decent job cleaning out some infantry, pushing back the assault pioneers, but Seaplane still coming around. Challenger Mark III in a scary situation for the southern zone now. Foxtrot under pressure. That's maybe where you want to rotate now with the 3 tanks. Yeah, that's exactly what Dark Neutron is doing. Whilst the Storm is still in a potentially good position there to get into an engagement as well. And there we go. Point is getting captured back, but Vo at least got a couple dozen points here on the scoreboard. Reduced the gap a bit and is about to get into the Foxtrot zone now as well to get it even smaller.
Yeah, just the chipping away here. Obviously, if you look at how many points or how long to victory and whatnot right now, it is going to take a little bit of time to get back in here. This is not going to be a fast victory. You know, neither player decided to push for the other's 2-point zone that are on the far edges of the map. So instead, we shall fight each other in the middle of the map. Like men, we will duel each other and see what happens.
Okay, the 3 T-72 MEVs here now starting to get into position. Pioneers got pushed out by the Warriors. No AT weapons on these guys. The 152mm actually right waiting there for the Challengers to get into that spot, getting into the contest, and that's right now where Dark Neutron is pouncing. Oh, this is the route on the Challenger Mark II leader. It recovers immediately though. Lucky there for Woe that route didn't go longer. Challenger Mark II number 2 is able to smoke off, but this is a lot of T-72 MEVs with a lot of different angles here on it, and not enough rifles around this time to hold that off. So the Challenger not the fastest tanks out here, and being stressed out like this might get pretty ugly for Woe quite quickly. Warrior Bleak goes down one shot. Oh, that Charlie is dead.
And in the south right now, the Charlie 3 is actually taking out the C-72 Muvs right now without Dark Neutron noticing. The other thing too is up here in the north, Woe does have all these Charlie 3s just sitting here, patiently waiting, just seeing if he can make something happen over here.
Yeah, 2 MEVs
cluster,
down.
Cluster.
Ooh. Oh, they're not moving fast enough.
Oh my god.
The 3 top armor saving them once more, but it's down to a lot of supply cost here again, and once more no kill on the cluster plane. And that's a problem. It will be coming around once more, and yeah, these tanks can be repaired. One is down though, and that's already good enough if you don't get the kill in return. And the +1 now back on business. The MEVs here in the south not doing the job. The artillery is doing fantastic for Dark Newton. I must say the artillery play night and day difference in this game compared to game 1, but the challengers are holding their ground so far.
Yeah, Woe. I'm trying to see who really actually has the point advantage right here. I think it's actually quite even, solely because those tornadoes actually haven't killed a ton of tanks. They've just heavily damaged them. So I think actually the point lead is not nearly as bad as what it feels like. It feels like Woe should be up big right now to me, but I don't think he is.
Yeah, we finally see some more infantry and BMPs coming in, but still only BMP ones. It's curious to me that Dark Neutron just completely ignores the BMP2 infantry in 9th, as the autocannons could be pretty helpful against the armored rifles. And the Conquerors is nothing to sneeze at either. Double artillery M109 hitting some T-72 MEVs in the middle. The follow-up with a Challenger would be nice, but that's not going to happen here. S-22AT not really finding anything either on the other side. So instead it stays pretty standard here. Track drop here, target for the 152mm of Dark Newton. Only 1 artillery piece on his side though, so finishing that off will be hard. And yeah, he got the repair back onto the C-72s. It's still 7 of them in the center, an 8th one coming up, so the tank number is still pretty decent. But by now, it's similar amounts of challengers on the other side. It's, I believe, 6 challengers. Yeah, 5 already, 6th one coming in, a 7th one coming in, so it's heavy boys there for the British.
Yeah, and Woe is just sitting on this 1-point lead for right now, just building again, assuming, you know, he's got that corner of Echo. Whenever he wants to take it, it's pretty much his. We can see, I suspect here, there's going to be one of two things that happen here. Woe is either going to push right now for these Challenger 2s, now that he's going to start seeing these T-72s down in the south, or he's going to rotate them down and then fight them straight up.
Yeah, Mi-24D here is a bit annoying. The 152 actually got the track drop here and a Stinger down, or Javelin down in the south, so only 1 track drop here still remaining here. And the Mi-24 can micro against that. Has to be careful there though. You want to move it out of the way. Warrior Bleak getting involved, but the track drop here nearly going down to a T-72 M1, and that could have been really devastating if then the Mi-24s could just come in here non-stop. More BMP mod shoots being bought, and yeah, the T-72 plop here is trying to find something. Once more, a bit of an infantry lag here, and especially a recon lag for Dark Neutron on the battlefield though.
Yeah, if he put just a recon where he has those 2 Iglas right now, he would have a much better time currently. In the middle, in between the 2 middle zones, that would be really helpful. And we're still not seeing any recon purchased by him right now. We just have an MI2 up currently. Oh my! And now the artillery does come in on the 2 T-72 M1s. It's doing a lot of damage.
And they're going into a Warrior Bleak
Oh
here.
My.
One's going down even. Oh, the other one is pretty low as well. Most likely won't be chased here though, but yeah, equalizing the tank numbers, and the tank quality is on both sides, so Woe in a pretty good spot here. +1 will get stopped here for a bit, but it's by now only 260 points. That's not a big difference. That's only 4 minutes of tick. You still have 13 minutes left here, and WoW just needs to take time here.
Yeah, Woe's just gonna take his time here probably and just get another command. Well, he has a command by his artillery that if he wants to move that up, he can and replace it. But he's just buying tanks and supplies right now.
Yeah, on the other side, it's a pure Motschützen printer right now. I'm not sure if that's the best idea, though. I guess with a smoke play, you could just push Motschützen through this now as well. And as Dark Neutron has not invested super heavily into infantry earlier, he should have a good amount left in the deck. Tornado is going way too deep here.
What? Okay.
Cluster plane coming in now.
What's going on here? What's going on?
It didn't get its cluster bombs off at all. And the coops are now turned on as the seed is not having a line of sight. Goes down.
HE bomber
doesn't get a hit.
in.
Oh, it goes for all the coops. HE bomber at least gets killed, but that's 3 coops down.
Oh, 3 coops. Oh.
I'm getting flashbacks there to the earlier game. Okay, so in the end, I still don't think this trade was worth it, as the planes that could exploit this lack of coops now are all down. But it's still painful.
I think it's mental warfare right now. WoW is playing the mental warfare game. All your coops just died to an HE bomber because they were busy shooting other things. I would be not very happy with myself if I was Dark Neutron. But this is also the big issue of blobbing, very expensive AA like this together. He's falling for that trap. You had 3 of them together. WoW identifies it. WoW takes advantage of it. That's what these high-level players do. They identify a weakness or something that they think that they can exploit, and then they do something in order to exploit it.
Yeah, Sultan here now coming in to get the tick back online. Do not make it all too close in the later stages, so to get you towards the lead here as fast as possible. The rifles getting annihilated though, as there's just so much.
Look at the smoke coming in the north right now too, as well. The smoke's coming in. I imagine that means this Charlie 2 is gonna just it's gonna mosey on in right now. You can also see WoW poking and prodding again up north, seeing what he can find. He's got some para-rover Milans up there, just seeing what he can find. But this, I'm imagining this northern push here is actually going to be the better of the 2 pushes currently.
Yeah, in the south,
he does have the 2 rifles walking up.
In the south, he is outnumbered in infantry and he's massively outnumbered in tanks. The T-72 MUV is now pushing forward towards the Warriors. The Warriors will go down quite quickly there. They have the 4 frontal armor, so they don't die immediately, but Mi-24 here can fire as well. HE bomber?
Didn't drop,
just went for the helicopter. And Strelas, and yeah, Strelas get him on the way out. MiG-23 MF on the other side goes down. So T-72s here still pushing on. One of them will go down to the Challengers. The Warriors all still alive. There is an armored rifle with a law. That's not the most amazing AT weapon, but it at least will push back the T-72s. So WoW is staying alive here, still having 2 Challengers and 4 Warriors around for the south. But the engagement in the north, the rifles getting on top of some T-72s. They're pushing them back, and the big Challenger push is coming through now. It's 5 Challengers pushing in there. It's only 3 T-72s, with one of them being full hit points, 2 of them being heavily damaged. So I don't think Dark Neutron can hold right there. He has to give some ground, and that means WoW most likely is going to take the lead in points here soon.
Yeah, WoW kind of lulled him asleep up there in the north. Like, hey, kind of forgot about these tanks. I haven't seen them since about 30 minutes into the game, and now WoW's going to drive them on in, put Dark Neutron asleep, and here he comes in with them now.
West AT planes coming in though. There's no smoke. There is no smoke. They only get 1 hit. They only get 1 hit. And that wasn't even a full hit. It was only a near explosion, dealing a bit of damage to the Challenger. Wow, okay. That was really unfortunate for Dark Neutron there, as that could have gone a lot worse for WoW.
Praying to RNGesus right now with this. Takes out Estrella as well up there in the north. He's going to get this full cap as well, because there's only 1 command vehicle on the ground right now for Dark Neutron.
Yeah, Director up here, not quite in the position there. Dark Neutron has a good angle here, or like a lot of good angles here. Has the concave against Vo's push here, so the challengers have to be careful with side tosses. One of them going down, another two in the north taking a lot of damage. The smoke of the center one's pretty important here. MI-24 at least gets shut down by the plane. The rocket plane actually just going for the Iglas here. Just try to get rid of as much AA as possible, but the Jaguar might get found by the Strela and retreating in the north. Yes, goes down there. So Dark Neutron still gets what he wants there. Challenger Mark II goes down in the center, and those tanks are vulnerable. AT. Oh, the Mudschützen miss with the rocket. Next one gets the kill there though. Challenger Mark III goes down, and now the numbers for Vo not looking as hot as 3 minutes ago. He's about to take the point lead maybe, but even that only barely, and he might get pushed back here now.
Yeah, the point lead gonna go in that favor though. It's gonna be really tough for Dark. Is SPW gonna save it just in time? See that southern point now though. Whoa. You know, he's got stuff sitting around here. Again, it kind of was just like lulling Dark Neutron to sleep. You know, oh, we just had this big tank battle in the north. Maybe we forget about the south and we walk it in. You know, we slowly walk a few units in here and there.
Oh my goodness, the points might just be right equal. Oh, Dark Neutron still in the lead.
All right, boys, break out the smoke cheese. It's time to go. Woe's got this mortars on the field. There's 6 minutes left in the game. Woe's got to get out pretty much right now. It's kind of like wherever you spawn now is going to be there for about a minute of the fight. A minute or two of the fight, and you got to go. Like whatever spawn pretty much after this point is going to have not that much impact on the game. So planes, helicopters, everything like that, I can imagine are going to be getting brought in by Woe.
Yeah, the AT planes of Dark Neutron will be able to most likely to get one more run in this, with the reload currently going on. So that could be a big swing. On the other side, the smoke mortars now coming in. There is a good amount of warriors coming in here now to make this quite uncomfortable for Dark Neutron to push. But yeah, Dark Neutron, I'm not sure if he should be this idle right now. I feel like pushing the north would have been viable right now, as he had 6-7 tanks ready there, whilst the challengers were all damaged. But they're about to all get repaired back up, and then pushing into them is going to be a lot more uncomfortable. Mudschützen at least should get into the buildings around there to not let Woe get that close to your zone, as it only takes a couple of points here now for Woe to get this all around. Artillery on top of the tractor up here, but not on top of the tanks. And the Milan 1 immediately goes down here. Mudschützen die out as well. Tractor up here goes down. Are there any helicopters out? No, not yet, but the planes obviously could use this as well.
Oh, this is becoming a very messy game for both players.
Ooh, Milan 2 is not getting spotted there. Gets a good hit. Challengers have a line of sight. And yeah, only now the smoke. Warriors from the north get shut down before they can get into position. Second one smokes up in time.
Looks like he's spooking Dark Neutron though. Dark Neutron does not want to take this engagement despite having this massive blob of tanks.
Yeah, challengers getting into the engagement now are on a decent distance. Mudschützen here still pushing forward. Challengers maybe getting a bit too close now, taking a bit too much damage per hit, as the enemy tanks just outnumber you heavily. Yeah, Woe disengaging there. Challenger leader nearly dying. And
okay, so Woe is moving that Sultan over to the southern point right now as well, away from the artillery.
And he has an entrance there, so he will get the point lead with that. And then it's Woe who has who can go onto the defense mode. So Dark Neutron should get the T-72 leader that he is pushing through the north right now in there in the north. Mudschützen and warriors coming around. Warrior finding a kill onto an MEV in the north.
What is Dark Neutron doing right now? Like he has to know that he can push this, right? I mean, he doesn't have like any recon up, but he's got 3 minutes left. He has literally a 3-point lead right now.
Yeah, MEV pushing forward 3.5 minutes. Smoke coming in for the south. There is a T-72 leader, so it only will get a 1-point lead there, as a lot of Mudschützen with BMP2s finally come in. This is where the BMP2s have been the whole time. They will enter the battlefield now. Armored rifles finding a side shot against the MEV in the north. The infantry is not in front of this. The Mudschützen should all move with this. Don't leave the tanks hanging there. Mudschützen, one of them getting into a decent spot there, but Milan 2 finds the side shot against the MEV.
Finds a side shot.
Ooh, really important one. The artillery is still firing away here. But it's only smoke. Oh, that should be a G. The smoke doesn't really help you here.
Whoa, now has the lead. He's in a position. This Mach suits in here. It right outside of Woe zone could be problematic here for him, but I mean, Woe just has to sit here and collect this +1 for the rest of the game, even if Dark Neutron gets into a fight right now.
He kills the CV for the northern push.
Oh no, dude. Not like this.
There is 2 more behind it, but they need to get moving here. Challenger Mark III goes down, but 4 T-72s there went just down in the last couple middle. The SU-22 ATs are around, so they come around dealing some damage, dealing some good stress amount here as well. BMP-2s here now coming in big numbers. The Challengers in the north, they are still annoying though. The T-72 number maybe not good enough anymore. 1 more going down. Warrior Pleaks coming around from the side. T-72s versus these numbers. The AT plane does get another miss here. Doesn't find the kill. S-22 AT really not doing what they needed to do. Being pushed out again. The Sultan doesn't go down to the cluster. The Napalm tried to burn it down. Sultan actually had to push forward, but it's still in the smoke. It didn't burn down, so Woe is up in the lead. Only 1 minute 30. And even gets the Challenger into the North 40, adding insult to injury here. Getting up to a +2, and I don't think there is enough time here for Dark Neutron to push this around, as there is still a follow-up CV, and Dark Neutron just surrenders, and Woe will move on into the semifinal. What a freaking game.
Dark Neutron, yeah, that was a great game. Dark Neutron just a little bit too, not a little bit, he was way too slow there. He had an advantage there and just wasn't able to calculate that, unfortunately, to win that game. But congratulations to Woe. Moving on to the next round, it'll be exciting to see these next couple games.
Yeah, Dark Neutron here. Going out in the quarterfinals after an insane series of games here. And yeah, Woe moving on to face Stahlbrecher here in a best-of-5 action there. All of these games really on the edge, none of them being a clear-cut game, but Woe grinding it through this time around. Last season, he went down in a similar kind of style against Tiberius Rancor, where Tiberius was just able to get a couple more points in Game 3, and Woe went down in the quarterfinals. This time he makes it into the semis, and he might be the favorite there as well. As Stahl, yeah, he beat Blavens. Yes, he had an amazing group stage, but Woe still seems to be the favorite there. Stahl getting a draw against Stadek, getting a victory against Procomi, but Tiberius losing in Stadek, cleaning out the way there. Now beating Leifens, so Stahl for sure in the form of his life, but is that enough to beat Woe? It's going to be really interesting. And then Scuff versus Stadek, I'm absolutely hyped for this one as well.
That one's going to be a great game. That is going to be a great set of games. Both of these are going to be great sets of games. I mean, it's going to be... it's hard to even say which one I'm more excited for. I mean, I actually probably think I'm more excited for Scuff and Stardek, because those are 2 players that are very, very good at the game and have unique playstyles. Woe obviously has a very unique playstyle. I haven't seen enough of Stahl's games to really know a whole lot about him, other than he absolutely beat my ass yesterday in the Swiss Championship, but that's all I've got about him.
Yeah, Stahl just came up slowly here. Like, Stahl didn't have a breakthrough season, but Stahl was doing good work in Division 2 season for season again. Came in here from last season as a top 4 finisher in Division 2, and is now just in top shape. Like, he has great record on the ranked, and I mean, this record this season is just phenomenal. And he never looked weak. Like, beating off Leifens 2-0 with clean victories. Like, he doesn't look as flashy.
Leifens.
Yeah.
Oh.
He doesn't look flashy and all, because he just plays the most basic games ever. He plays the classic German Leo Tooth, and the strength of Leo Tooth right now kind of carries him here maybe as well, but he is one of the best basic players right now out there, and I'm absolutely looking forward to if Woe can break that, or if the Stahlbrecher is the breaker here in the end.
Hey, fundamental gameplay, most of the time trumps, the flashy, crazy gameplay that we do see.
So, yep.
So that'll be a great game. I can't wait to tune in for that.
And if you guys want to hire the stakes for these players, check out the Vetcherino. Thanks for all the people who helped out here. All the free codes claimed Array already, so much appreciation for all of that, guys, and all the big contributions that we got here already, including from you, Jeremy. Thanks for that.
Of course.
And yeah, let's see if we can reach the $400, $500 here as well. Thanks to all of you for watching. Don't forget to follow Jeremy if you haven't done so yet. The amazing streams over there on his Twitch channel. It's right now in the chat, so jump over there. And yeah, we're gonna end it here now. So thanks for watching. Do you have any final words?
No, just really excited for the playoffs. I'm excited for. I'm currently in the playoffs of Division 2. Very excited for those. And again, I think on behalf of everyone that's in the tournament, Protoss, thank you for hosting. We appreciate it all. Thank you for the casting as well. It makes it a lot more.
Yeah, and we're gonna send you over now to some more esports, as there's a Age of Empires 2, I believe, is the tournament that's going on over at EGC right now. So yeah, no big WARNO stream on right now that I could see. So let's have some fun with some Age of Empires. $10,000 there on the prize line as well, and let them know that we have the better esports nonetheless. So see you all next time, guys. Have a good day.